in the morning.
How could we, you might say, have tried to top the last few shows on Sportswire Radio? They always say everything comes in threes. We started off with a man they called the Shade, Mr. Anarchy, Mr. TBW, the greatest backyard and underground wrestling champion and draw in our sports history, our Hulk Hogan. Then we had on a guy that was a nemesis, but's now a tyrant king, figuratively and literally, and he's actually back in wrestling, this time as an owner in his biggest role. And then we had on a guy that's ushering in the new outsider era with also not only new hair, a new shiny belt, and in the main event where he permanently belongs, and some guy named Jack Delta. So you might ask how we're going to top it. Well, of course, we're going to have a headshot because after all the shots I've taken at promoters, wrestlers all across the United States and elsewhere, I am sure there's a few people out there that might want to give me a headshot out there. And what better way to kind of segue into that by bringing on a man that is actually called the Headshot, and his resume and his legacy speaks for itself. You've seen him in different promotion after promotion. He's wrestled a who's who of people. He's even wrestled some people that are almost, I guess, kind of taking up residency on this platform. Maybe I'll get to them. Maybe I won't get to them. I'm sure that there'll be people out there and maybe the same state with a different promotion with 3 different initials that may come in, may not, may say hello, but they'll be watching. I can assure you they'll be watching. But, our guest here has done a lot of podcasts. He's definitely done a lot of them. He's definitely been a topic. He's been a commodity. But I can assure you, maybe to quote or phrase, the reason that we're speaking to our guest tonight on Sportswire Radio, that now he's in a platform where he's literally now in a main event and is actually now a headline when it comes to maybe some of the different shows he's done out there. Because again, some might be dry, some might be shooting, but they have no blanks. Others might have name of a weather, but they really don't bring us any, let's say, what the wrestling gods have brought us here on this platform. I could go on and on and on about our guest tonight. As a matter of fact, I will tonight, and I want people to hear his story, but also hear the story of the Underground Wrestling Alliance and why their big show coming up Friday and Saturday, where you'll hear more on Friday, and Saturday, May 25th, Final Destination 3. As a matter of fact, I'm so excited about it. I wish the show would be Friday, but it's going to take place here this Saturday, May 25th, and maybe there's going to be a tie to somebody else I know that I used to own a portion of a company also in Tennessee with 3 initials starting with the P. Boy, ladies and gentlemen, the wrestling world connects everybody. It's almost like the stars align. What a small world it is. But as I stated, it is time to give our guest the introduction that he deserves and so many of his peers and colleagues have gotten, and maybe some of his frenemies who are watching this have gotten this introduction. Oh boy, don't worry, I'm not going to shoot that hard, I can assure you. He is, after all, the Headshot, and he'll give me a blunt force full of headshot-like trauma if I do tonight. So I'm going to be a good boy. I'm going to be on my best behavior because we are in prime time, the biggest stage, the brightest of lights, where all wrestling matters, figuratively and literally. So let's get right to it and introduce our guest in prime time on Sportswire Radio. So with that, wait for it. Further ado, here on the Sports Report, number 1. One more for the World Sports Show. From the Underground Wrestling Alliance, his name is, simply put, the Headshot, Jake My friend, how are you?
Dude, that was incredible. Oh
I
my!
told you. I told you it's different on sports. I know you've done podcasts in the Nexus. I know you've done podcasts with the guy whose name Weathers, but hasn't really given too much of any, well, let's say rain like we give here on Sportswire. Maybe a forecast with, I don't know, a mix of sun and clouds and certainly some thunderstorms and some Hiroshima bombs that I've been on this platform. But the facts are is that when you hear on Sportswire, it's different. It's not just an internet radio station, which we technically are. We're actually not a podcast. We're an internet radio station, which is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, which is programmed by me on behalf of the community to give it to you. We charge nothing, and I give people a chance to be heard around the world. And it's just different here. We do things differently. To me, Sportswire is almost like going to a concert. People like to go see Taylor Swift, and well, you might get Taylor, but a different Taylor. People want to see Steele, you get a different Steele. You might get a Black who maybe you might like it kind of hardcore. He's a hardcore guy. You get some of that. You get a bunch of Rages. Maybe they even got a Shade. After all, it is getting near summer. You like to have a Shade. You get some Delta. After all, Chuck Norris had a movie called The Delta Force once upon a time. And you've even got a couple of different Blazes and even a Blaze that kind of intertwined us here, which we'll certainly get to. So I'd like to put it out there before I get to some comments. It's different here on Sportswire because after all, we're figuratively and literally all wrestling matters. And people come to Sportswire for different reasons. Again, no disrespect to the other shows you've done, Mr. Headshot. After all, you are J. Cal, but it's different here. And most importantly, we're live and in prime time on the brightest stage and the biggest of lights to maybe quote an old promotion you used to work for there. Good to see you, though, my friend. But obviously, there is a lot to talk about here tonight. And I want to go right for the jugular here because obviously, we've got a big show coming up here. The Underground Wrestling Alliance's Final Destination 3. And certainly, it may seem like it's the start of the movie season. It may start like it's Memorial Day weekend. Maybe you're figuring out box office plans. Maybe you're thinking about dating plans, summer vacation starting early, whatever it might be. But it's going to start with Final Destination 3. And for you, my friend, you're going to be in the ring to try to reclaim a championship that, well, the reason we're here is because the man that took that championship away from you a few short weeks ago, none other than the headline, Aaron Blaze. And you guys are in a rematch. And for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, the Headshot, J. Cal, what can we expect between you and the headline, the main event, Aaron Blaze in the rematch?
Pure competition. This is not going to be the whole card. You got your battle for respect. You got a ladder match. You got all this stuff. It's going to happen at FD3 for me personally is I'm going to walk in. I'm going to put my boots on. I'm going to put my tights on. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to wrestle. I'm going to fight. Because that's what this is about. This is 2 years in the making here, Thomas. 2 years in the making. From everything that happened backstage, everything that erupted, everything that became of it. I stayed where I was. He went off and he made his name.
He went to Indiana.
He
went and did his own promotion. He went to other states. And, it sounds like to me, the Headshot J. Cal, now we'll get to the personal part in a second, but it sounds like you made your name for one promotion. But Mr. Blaze couldn't figure out where his freaking flyer miles were and couldn't figure out where to stay. Is that what you're telling me here live on Sportswire Radio?
Well, yes and no, because I stayed in UWA. I stayed in a place I helped build.
Correct.
I care about that place more than anybody else I can think of in there because it's a part of me. It's a part of me. And especially on a day like FD, especially on what we all consider the biggest stage that we do every year. For the biggest matches, the biggest prize fights, the biggest everything. This match with Aaron Blaze, to me, I've been training, I've been studying, I've been doing everything I possibly can. Because this match means a whole hell of a lot to me. That Heritage Championship title, that championship belt, is not just gold and leather and straps. It's intrinsically a part of my identity. it's intrinsically a part of my ideals and as a wrestler. I believe in pure wrestling. I believe in violence and fight.
Well, there's obviously a difference between you and Mr. Blaze, because Mr. Blaze is obviously, he certainly had a rather interesting wrestling career. So let me ask you then, let me go with this first. I want to certainly a lot to unpack here. But in terms of where this ranks coming up here this Saturday at Final Destination 3 in your career, how big of a match this is coming up between you and Aaron Blaze for that Heritage Championship that you so desperately want back?
Well, it's definitely got a lot of people talking. It did. And personally, I'm being for real here. I didn't expect it because I don't pay attention to that. I only care what happens in between those ropes.
Ah, I see. So you're not one of these people then that, doesn't worry about what
No.
the peanut gallery talks about or the chatter
I
box.
I want to let my actions speak louder than my words. This match means basically everything to me right now. If I can't win that championship after so many times trying to get it back through every injury, every setback, every personal problem, then I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I should even be in that division anymore. If I can't do it, then what's the point? If he can prove to me that he wants it that bad,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's his championship, his division, I would love to see him try. I have the utmost respect for Aaron Blaze. That man is a globetrotter. That man is unironically the most passionate person I've probably stepped in a ring with. Because
that's saying a lot, because you've
yes,
been in there with some big names, some big names that are probably here tonight, or they're certainly listening and eavesdropping. But let me ask you though this question. I want to spend some time on Aaron Blaze because we broke it on Monday's show that Aaron Blaze is coming back onto the platform in the month of June to take his place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Aaron Blaze is one of these guys that gets talked about all the time when you think about the traveling backyard wrestler. And there's certainly a handful of them. Obviously, Jack Delta is the name everybody knows. He's kind of like Coke and Pepsi in many ways. Aaron Blaze might be the number 2. There's a guy, D'Angelo the Flame, who's also made a name for himself also in the state of Tennessee, and he's been in multiple promotions. He's another name. Some other names that certainly come up to mind is Omen Black and Soldier GP, the resident rock star Sean Jovi, a man that you've certainly shared a locker room with and wrestled, Anthony Steele, the real deal. I mean, we can keep going on a list of people that have traveled and have certainly made an impact. But Aaron Blaze is probably, I think safely you can say it, is the number 2 man right now. And even Jackson Law, throw in Jackson Law. Everybody knows Jackson Law. You've wrestled in his promotion, but he's kind of made his home in really one promotion, sans from his own, but he was also in that list as well. No question you would throw in there. But the facts are is that there's really one man after Jack Delta that everybody knows is the traveling wrestler, and that's Aaron Blaze. And Jay Cal, you've had a lot of success. You've definitely been out there. You've been doing this a while, but does it fuel you and motivate you that in addition to, I want to reclaim that Heritage Championship, but also I want to knock this guy, Aaron Blaze, off the block because you know what? What he does is he goes to feds, doesn't stay there for a while and decides, you know what? I might want to open up shop and drop to go, somewhere else. Because as I like to roll other places, as I'm Aaron Blaze, they a little bit of rap there, folks. Because we have a guy that raps named C2K, and he does kind of nursery rhyme rap. So people on this platform like to see me do rap. Because after all, I am from the home of where rap and hip hop was formed in New York, in Brooklyn, New York. But talk to me about some of those things, though, and that, you got some motivation aside from the fact of reclaiming that title. But Aaron Blaze, everybody talks about him, but they're not talking about Jake Howell as much.
That's more on them.
Why? Why is it more on them? Tell me why.
Well, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. This age of wrestling where there's so much style, there's so much everything going on.
How wrestling matters. I say it all the time. That's my
People soar through the air, people whacking each other with weapons. Every sort of style, which I love that shit. Don't get me wrong.
I always say it's almost like Baskin Robbins 31 flavors. You never know what you get.
But the truth is, me and Blaze differ on that. yes, people can talk about Aaron Blaze. They can talk about where he's been, what he's going to do, what he hasn't done, who he's beat, who he's not beat, all that stuff. They can sit here and say he's this and he's that. About me, just going to be honest,
Go
I don't
for it.
really play that game.
Tell me why.
I don't play the game. I choose to let, again, my actions speak for themselves. I choose to go in there to the ring, those orange and yellow ropes, and I choose to do what I feel is necessary. I want the competition. I want the sportsmanship. I believe in wrestling 100%. I don't chase trends. I don't capitalize. I wrestle.
I appreciate that because I think there's a lot of people that might try to, go with the trend. So then let me ask you then in a separate way, what does this sport mean to you? You've went through a lot. You've obviously had an injury that's, well documented, and, you talk about this sport, and, Aaron Blaze has a passion. A lot of people on this platform have a passion. There's actually a passionate full of comments section that I'm going to get to because, like I said, it's different on Sportswire. You go to other places and, they're kind of like, you want to comment? Do you want to say something to Jake Howell? Do you want to say something? And really, nobody's dropping in. There's really basically, it's almost like, it's like church at like on a Wednesday at like 5:00 in the afternoon. Nobody's there. On this platform, it's different because your colleagues are here. The fans of this platform are here. So, what does this sport mean to you? Because you kind of talked about it there for a second. Talk about the sweet science of wrestling and what it means to you then.
That would require me to go a little bit back in my life.
Go for it. You're live.
When I was about 11 years old, 22 now.
Happy birthday.
I was overweight. I was a little kid running around. I was, neurodivergent. I was everything. I was so didn't fit in anywhere. I didn't have a, friend group of people. I was basically alone.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine now, but I will never forget it. We'll never forget the day. It was a very bad day at school. Of course, living in the South, public schooling in the South is almost like a Vietnamese torture camp.
Well, I mean, I'm a public school kid myself. I mean, I don't know if my experiences were different growing up in Brooklyn in public school. I don't know what they would be a difference of. I've never asked anybody that's been on this platform and such, but
it's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But it was a bad day.
Okay.
And I get home from school and I'm crying. I'm upset because I don't want to live like this. And the TV was on, and I heard this song, and this roar of a crowd. It was "Cult of Personality" by Living Colour. This is all real. This is like this. It's the fall of 2011 or something.
Okay. And
out walks a guy, tattoos, got a championship belt on. He does not look like anybody else. And it was like, this guy is different from everybody else, but he stays true to himself, and he doesn't. And from there, it was just a rabbit hole. At first, it was WWE. Then a couple of years later, found Ring of Honor, found Japanese promotions, and it was like everybody was saying something about professional wrestling, but I realized what it really was. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
It's a tale of emotion. It's a tale of hard hitting. It's a tale of fighting from the bottom. It's
absolutely
something so beautiful to me. It's very spiritual to me because
I think it's a language. I think I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for 5.5 years. I've been covering wrestling for 4, and I've spoken to people all over the world. I started covering British wrestling, and people would say all the time, well, how would a guy like me with my unique New York accent, my unique look, be able to speak with people all over the world in places like the United Kingdom and Australia and Canada, and obviously someone in yourself in the great state of Tennessee? And I would say, well, because of wrestling. I mean, that's what wrestling does. At the end of the day, people here tonight and every night, and also going out and putting their blood, sweat, and tears out there, like yourself included, because wrestling is a language and it brings us together where otherwise what we have been brought together, probably not. And I think that's why wrestling to me is a universal language.
I'm going to be honest. And to get back to the question, what it means to me.
Yeah. What does it mean?
Life oftentimes for me is a bit it's mentally difficult to really cope with the weight of life.
Okay.
Professional wrestling and underground wrestling and backyard wrestling, even Olympic wrestling for me, is a way of, it's just beautiful. It's just what I love. I'm a musician, but I love being a wrestler. I love to be able to go out there, put my body on the line and fight and just tell a story, to tell a story in that ring, to get people invested in what you're doing and to have them go along. You see it right there, those letters right there, those letters, at least to us in the locker room, our goal is if we can, because this world's a strange place.
Oh, I'm well aware of it, my friend. I'm well aware of it.
And if we could touch somebody's life, if we could, with our wrestling, if we could do that, if we could just take them out of this for at least a moment through this beautiful thing we call wrestling, then the goal has been met. And every painful fall, every hit to the face, every blood-soaked mat, everything would have been worth it. And wrestling to me is damn near everything. And I love doing it for the fans, and I love doing it for myself as well.
It's about all wrestling matters, and I could not have said it any better. And if you want to see some of the stuff from the UWA, and like I said, we do things a little bit different here, my friend. You can actually follow the UWA on YouTube and check out a lot of their footage, a lot of great footage, a lot of great matches, a lot of great different people in the past have been in the UWA. Some I guess we could mention were there. Others, I would have to say go look in the archives, but obviously it's about all wrestling matters here, and I'm really excited about the UWA. It's a product that I think has a lot of great things to offer, and I hope that you join me in supporting UWA. But let me get to comments. I got so many comments, Jake Howell, that you probably never seen as many comments like this in your life on a chat, other than maybe when one promotion you worked for once upon a time, but I'm going to certainly not mention that at the moment. I want to say hello to one of my friends, the icon Jack Spade. Had a great conversation with Jack before we went on the air because we might be doing something pretty special in wrestling over in the great state of Illinois soon on this platform. So Jack Spade's going to be back here also going into the Hall of Fame, probably toward the middle to the end of June. So we're going to see the icon back, and Jack Spade is obviously somebody we love speaking with, and look forward to that conversation you set us up there with, Jack. And want to say hello to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you are doing well, and hope that you enjoy the headshots from Jake Howell and yours truly, maybe getting some of them thrown from Jake. Want to say hello to Mr. Omen Black. It is his show after all. He is the boogeyman, and he is the boogeyman of the Midwest and the hardcore god. He is the DKW world champion. He is the IMF hardcore champion.
Respect.
And he meant to say, Jake, what up? See, so I mean, people are kind of just, Want to say hello to my good friend in the Backyard Wrestling Nexus from Legendary Backyard Wrestling. And he's the Psychotic Freak. Yep, the Psychotic Freak. The Psychotic Freak is here from North Dakota. Love North Dakota. A friend of mine would like to say, hey, it's the Salty Nuts guy, and he's nuts about memes. LOL. I
can explain that.
Go for it. I'd love to know. Tell my audience why.
The Salty Nuts guy. Okay. This is outside of wrestling, but
go for it.
Me and my friend Ben, when we were kids, we started this YouTube channel, like live streaming games and all that, because I love video games, love them to death. Mm-hmm. And we were like, what's a funny name to name a YouTube channel that's going to catch eyes? We were just sitting there thinking about it, and I still to this day, I don't know what compelled him to say, Jake, let's just name it Sweet Tasty Balls. And I don't know. I mean, it's just a joke. Like literally, like UWA archive footage is like on there unlisted. We keep it there for that, and it's just like it's the stupidest thing. But I do, and I do love me some memes. I do love me some. Who
wouldn't? Not like memes. That's what I would want to know.
I love to laugh.
Absolutely. Listen, I mean, I always say life is short. Why not laugh? I mean, really, relatively speaking.
Bren rules.
Yes, Bren is a very good friend. Bren has done a lot of great work with a lot of friends on this platform, and I want to say hello to Bren. And Omen has a joke about your pajamas, but he does say he's joking around about your pajama wear.
Well,
he's joking around.
Over here, it's damn near nighttime. It's nightfall here. We live out in the boonies, so
I see. So,
yeah.
I like to tell people I'm pretty much always dressed the same because, well,
Love some
I
games.
don't know how I'm just basically dressed the same way every time. But UWA legend, absolutely, he sure is. He's a Tennessee backyard underground wrestling legend, and I think a man that you know very well is also saying kind of a funny hello. Going to be a James Marshall interview. Well, just so you know, Baxter, he's not taking a real shot at you necessarily, but there's a guy in a company, WCE, in the state of Wisconsin, Wrestling Championship Entertainment, by my wingman and my very good Goombada cheats, James Taylor, the new owner of ROW. Obviously, he's back in wrestling, but he's the owner of ROW. But we had a guy on, James Marshall, who came on here and was the world champion. And basically, well, he was the measuring stick champion. Now he's the world champion. And he came on here and basically he couldn't talk. And unfortunately, he's a great wrestler. He's a wonderful talent, but unfortunately, microphone skills, you certainly wouldn't call him a microphone fiend, to quote Eric B. and Rock him. But you might want to say, I'm a microphone fiend, but I'm going to say hello to James Taylor. And also, Omen Black says, that's what I'm feeling like. And there you go there. Not sure what the emoji is. I'm going to get to the technical stuff in a minute. I do want to get to that.
Wait, did you just drop an Eric B. and Rakim reference?
I sure did. I'm from New York. Listen,
hell yeah, man.
I'm from New York. You gotta remember, I'm from Brooklyn. I always tell people I am from Brooklyn, New York. So for me, people go, "Oh, where are you from?" And I said, "Well, I was born in Brooklyn, and I live in Staten Island now. But I grew up in Brooklyn up until I was just going into college, and I kind of knew all that stuff going on. Basketball,
it's the birthplace, man.
Hip hop. That was all. Although I'm more of a rock guy actually, but I know music because we do music on Sportzwire, so I know all types of music because that's kind of my thing, and also."
It's the birthplace,
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I tried out for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, so I'm up to date on a lot of things, but I don't have to try out for it. I just might be one. Hello to my friend D'Angelo LaFlame. He is the energy of wrestling, and he is a man also wrestling in the state of Tennessee and for a few places out there, and he says hello. Want to say hello? Want to say about D'Angelo? What did you like to say to him?
Rocky Top. Hell yeah.
Oh, yes. Want to say hello to my friend Big Tex of DBW. Big Tex, I know, is coming back on here, but I'm going to have to reschedule you. You're going to be here Saturday, but I got to push it back 1 week or at least during the week because I've got the guys from NEW, Underground Wrestling. I got the entire roster. You're going to want to tune into this Saturday at 9 o'clock. I've got the whole roster almost from NEW. They have a show called The Riot in the Ring, which is the following week they're taping. It's got a slew of guys like D'Angelo LaFlame showing up, like Stephen Havoc, Gabe Sayers, guys that you'd probably like to see as a wrestling fan, and they're going to be here. So Big Tex, I'm going to say we're going to push you back a couple days. Okay, I'm going to say hello to you too. I think I know who this individual is, and kind of going back to this individual. I'm going to come back to this individual. I got a lot to say about this individual. And there you go there. Mr. Blaze. I told you it's different on Sportswire. Didn't I tell you it's going to be different on Sportswire? And I'm a man of my word. Okay, I'm going to come back to James Taylor last, but we're good, Taylor. Thank you, though. Speaking of people, the 7-star superstar, the good guy, CJ Black, James Taylor, IMF, anyone from Tennessee, Alabama, literally, because they're in Michigan. Remember, James Taylor is owning ROBW now, so it's a different, thing here. But for whatever reason, Mr. Taylor says, why don't you take criticism for the record? All I ever did. Is there an issue that I'm missing here between you and James Taylor?
Okay.
Am I missing something?
Okay. Now hold on just a second.
Okay, because I have nothing to do. I just want to make sure. I want to make sure. Anything? You guys good? Everything okay?
Well, I mean, I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no offense to him.
Sure.
Sure, he's a nice guy, but I really don't give a shit about that.
Okay.
I have bigger things to worry about. I have other things to do. I have, no offense to you, Mr. Taylor. I respect how long you've been around. We got to give props there, and I do respect you. I do. It's just I only think that we mix well, sir. Maybe from different generations, maybe different output.
That was what Mr. Delta was saying on Monday's show. He actually was talking about the fact, even though he works for James Taylor now in ROW, that there is a difference of opinion, a difference of philosophy. So that's obviously, I think that's well documented.
And look, me and James Taylor, we've had our problems. It was very public. I told him to suck my balls.
Okay, I'm going to certainly plead the fifth on that one, but okay.
But I mean, the best thing to do is just move on from stuff because
that's it.
I mean, we're not all going to get along.
Listen, that's it. You know what? There's people. I tell people all the time. I speak with people from all walks of life. I speak with people from all backgrounds. It's just not everybody you're going to get along with. So the best you can do is.
But
yep.
still hope good things happen for him. You know, hope everything goes well for him. You know, much love, much respect. You know, all that.
Cool. I appreciate that, and I want to come back to Aaron Blaze, but I got so many comments. I want to say hello to people. Big Tex is going after CJ Black. I don't know why, but I also want to say hello. Now, I want to give a big shout out to actually Mr. Chase Sullivan, who's one of your champions. And I want to put this out here, so I want to get this out in the open. Chase Sullivan's here Tuesday night. Chase Sullivan's in the house Tuesday night. Looking forward to that. Chase Sullivan. Tell me what I can expect for the audience on Sportswire from Chase Sullivan on Tuesday. Tell me what we can expect.
There's the Chase Sullivan that is in the ring and on camera, and there's the Chase Sullivan that I know.
Which one should we get on Sportswire? Because I love wrestling. I love the wrestling side of things.
The Chase Sullivan that is in the ring is one of my favorite opponents.
I watched a little bit of him these past couple of shows in UWA, and that's why I was very excited to bring him on.
That man, if I'm, we're just going to put it out there.
Go for it.
I genuinely believe very hardworking person. I know somebody that studies his craft very well. I know he's, he is very respectful of the ring. He's respectful of the craft. He is hard worker. And we butt heads sometimes. We can't always, but he is, he's 11, he's, like when you go up and you fight in the ring, you do all this stuff, you really do your best. You get to know a lot of these guys, and he's been with us for a long time. So, I really do respect him, even though right now you're playing for the wrong team, Sullivan. You should really check yourself.
Because obviously the Midwest Mafia, which we'll certainly come back to. I'll definitely get to the Mafia, but CJ Black, go to your room. They're fighting. Okay, so we'll let them go back to okay, so I want to come back to Aaron Blaze because Mr. Blaze is here. We were speaking about this. I'm actually going to put up a video or two in a second because I want to make sure people go and tune into the UWA and obviously the big show coming up here this Saturday, Final Destination 3. So forget about those movie plans, summer vacation, put them off early just for a few hours and head on over to the UWA YouTube page. Aaron Blaze, we spoke about some of the things. He's the traveler. You're not. He's got a passion, but for different types of wrestling. You're more about the sweet science. You're more about the technical aspect. You are a technical wrestler. Aaron Blaze, well, he could do different things, and he's never sure of himself. So,
no doubt. No, he's an all-around competitor. He's an all-around performer.
Oh, I'm aware. I just watched him in Indiana not too long.
He can adapt to most anybody's style, be it somebody's bigger than him, smaller than him, faster than him. He can still adapt to it. That's the mark of a good performer to me. But he sometimes is hard on himself.
Why do you say that?
Well, I guess we can break the camera down a little bit. Break this little wall down.
We do it all the time on Sportswire, so go ahead. Go for it.
He is my opponent for FD3 this Saturday.
Yep. There is no doubt about him.
There is no doubt in my mind that come that day, and he knows what I'm going to say here is that we're not gonna dance around it here. We're just going to go for it. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. That's the straight up fact about it. This is not going to be, I'm not looking to pose. I'm not looking to, what you going to do, brother? No, I'm not looking to do that. No,
that's not your style in the ring, though. I've watched you in the ring. That's not your style.
I am going in there to compete. I'm going in there to wrestle. I'm going in there to capture the championship. I respect Aaron Blaze. I do. I respect him.
How could you not? How could you not respect him?
If you don't respect Aaron Blaze, I don't know necessarily enough about you to make a judgment.
Absolutely. There's no question that like I said, behind Jack Delta, who's traveled the most?
You can think whatever you want about, Delta or Blaze or any of these guys that traveled. We can have our different opinions all we want, but really just right now, everybody that travels has my utmost respect because that is a very hard thing to do. That is miles and miles and miles. And, we have people that travel for us. We have people that travel from all over the place, and it's an honor, privilege that people want to do that for us. But, that's my respect. I mean, we can sit here and talk about feuds. I know, James Taylor's here. We've had our words, but I do respect most everybody that is in wrestling because I love wrestling. I know people in here were saying stuff how I was dressed, but I respect that guy too.
I'm happy with the way I'm happy you're here. First of all, you're always welcome anytime here. Anybody's welcome here on this platform. As I say it all the time, I give everybody the floor. We don't go abide who had gotten along or not gotten along and who worked for who. I don't believe in that stuff. Listen, I'm legendary for that. Listen, I owe nobody nothing. So you don't owe me nothing. You don't owe the people nothing. You're here and I'm happy you're here.
Thank you.
Mr. Blaze is a man, like you said, that has traveled but hasn't cut his teeth somewhere. And he took your championship. He took a title that meant so much to you.
Yes.
And it's got to burn at you that some of the things he said after taking that title from you, and it's still got to motivate you going into this Saturday.
Mr. Bryce, let me tell you something.
Go for it.
When I say that it has eaten me alive since March, what happened? It has. I've lost sleep over it, done everything that I possibly can to try to get over it, to just think about other things, but I can't. There's one thing on my mind. It is that match. It is the match that many people want to see. They want to see Jake Howell, Aaron Blaze, one-on-one.
I want to see it. I like to watch it this Saturday.
Yeah. And you know what's going to happen? The straight-up thing, no matter who wins or who loses, who walks away, or who has to be carted out. The truth is, we're going to make a statement. That championship that he holds right now, whether he realizes it or not, is basically right now everything to me in my career.
I want to play the video.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to do that in a second, but I want to ask you one question. I want to get to a few more comments. I also want to say hello to my guest tomorrow night in your chair, Nicholas Crenson, who says he's loving you, by the way. Nicholas Crenson from WCNI. He said he's loving what you're saying. So I told you, you get everybody's different on Sportswire.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
But we love Nicholas Crenson, by the way, and I'll be wearing his shirt tomorrow. But let me ask you, though, this. And, I don't know if you have an opinion on this. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But help me understand this because, you look at Aaron Blaze, right? Aaron Blaze has traveled, right? But,
yes, sir.
Jack Delta was talking about the fact, and the man you've squared off against, and he was talking about the fact that, Aaron Blaze, sure, he's traveled. Sure, Aaron Blaze is, he's had some success in different places, but Aaron Blaze really hasn't had as much success as you think about it in a way because look at where he's gone in different feds aside from UWA. He walked into your promotion again and took the championship away from you that mattered most. Mm-hmm. You could make the case that Aaron Blaze is finally trying to make a name for himself off your promotion because he's coming off a stint. Let's be honest. Let's really break the fourth wall for a second.
Oh, go ahead.
He's already coming off a stint in Indiana where obviously there was a lot said by certainly the...
Yeah, there was. Jesus.
No, we're not going there with that. No. But the point is that...
That was a lot.
Yeah, but the point is that he is trying to redeem himself from that experience, and he's trying to do that by holding your championship. I mean, that's not a fair point.
Oh, it's completely fair. Oh, no, but see, I mean, if we look at it from this perspective, it was inevitable. It was inevitable that one of these days he was going to come back to this place that he's called home.
Correct. He talked about that here. He talked about when he was here a few weeks ago. He talked about UWA. He talked about where he was getting back to basics, kind of referring to, again, what Delta said and what I said, and that Indiana was certainly a lot of hype, but it wasn't what it should have been, and he's now trying to rectify it.
Again, if we can just break the fourth wall really quick.
Go for it.
I'm going to be honest. everybody knows Aaron Blaze.
Correct.
I've met the man behind the character.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to him before all this Heritage Championship stuff happened, before I ever even knew he was going to come in. We squashed that beef, that bitterness that we had toward each other. And what I learned about him that day.
What did you learn?
I learned that throughout the controversy, that throughout the words, throughout everything that this man's been through, he reminds me of me.
Really? Why do you say that? That's interesting. Interesting take there.
Well, for one, we both pissed a lot of people off. That's
well, that's a good thing, though. But I think that's good because you know what? It means that people are talking about you, and you did something that people remember in some ways. You know,
well, I mean, we're similar in the fact that we love wrestling. We love everything.
Absolutely.
About it. We bond a little bit over the fact that, just straight up about it. We go in there, we give everything that we have until we can't stand. That's where we bond. But the bonding does end there because, come this Saturday, come when the bell rings in that arena, it's not about the past. It's not about Indiana or Tennessee. It's not about, anybody.
Pennsylvania, Ohio,
it's not
Michigan.
About,
yep.
What matters in that moment, when that bell rings, it's not going to be about XCW. It's not going to be about TBW. It's not going to be about anything in the past. It's going to be about two people, Aaron Blaze, Jake Howell, sharing the squared circle to competing for the UWA Heritage Championship. That is what it's going to be about. That's what it's going to be about.
I think that's why people should tune in. Before I do that, I want to say hello to somebody out there also listening in Brooklyn, New York, a young lady named Mia out there who's listening. So I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're enjoying this. She probably has no idea what we're talking about right now, but I wanted to say hello to the young lady and to hope that she's enjoying listening to us right now on Sportswire Radio as we are here with Jake Howell, the headshot Jake Howell, who's getting ready to try to reclaim his UWA Heritage Championship against the main event, Aaron Blaze. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling here on Sportswire. Okay, you know what? I want to play what he said after winning the title, and then I'm going to come back to you. Then we're going to talk about some other things here in the UWA, if you don't mind. So for the audience out here, we're going to play the video from Aaron Blaze talking about after he won the Heritage Championship, because all wrestling matters here in Sportswire Radio. Let's go for it.
UWA, the headline is home. And that couldn't be further from the truth, because the headline is indeed home. For the first time in 2 years, I'm back. Bet you were expecting someone else, weren't you? All jokes aside, man, it almost doesn't feel real. But it's the reality of the situation. I got a call or two from Commissioner E.T., and for a long time, we've been in talks about me resigning to the Underground Wrestling Alliance. Well, here I am. Because indeed, what you heard after those sirens, before a mix of my song played, it wasn't a dream. And it's the only warning shot that mattered in backyard wrestling. And the true standout of the yard stood tall with one of the most prestigious titles in this business, the UWA Heritage Championship, after beating Jake Howell, pinning Southern Viking, and then the following night going on to set a brand new record for the longest lasting time in the Tennessee Jamboree. Final 3 in my second ever appearance. But let's talk about the one reason I'm here.
I think we're having technical difficulties here. There we go. Sorry about that.
Oh, there he is.
I never thought the day would come that I would be able to call myself a UWA champion in any capacity. But this isn't 2022 anymore. This is 2024. I've gone to more places. I've made more moments everywhere. I have been on the marquee. I've been trailblazing. And I hate to tell you, With this new version of me, it does not stop here. I'm not the same guy I was back then. And to prove that, I'm going to do what I've done with almost every other championship I've held all across the yard. And that's defending. On the next episode of UWA Underground League, Aaron Blaze is opening the door. Open challenge to anybody that wants a shot at my Heritage Championship. But if you're going to aim for the king of UWA, you best not miss if you want to capture his throne, because I'll leave you burnt out when it's all said and done. Feels good to be back, and I just want you fans to sit back and enjoy the ride.
Aaron Blaze with some forceful words, and we get a chance to see some. We'll come back to some more of the UWA shortly on Sportswire Radio with Aaron Blaze, but some strong words and some rather maybe words that hit you home. Didn't pin you. Remember, he didn't pin you. So you got something to go into coming up on Saturday.
That's true.
You talked about this in your own right. You talked about this on UWA TV. That now it's one-on-one. There's no threat. There's no none of that. So now you got a chance to even the odds and score a victory and reclaim that championship that you technically never lost.
No. You know, it's a funny thing about that.
Go for it.
It's why I respect him. Because he stands by his word. He does. If he says he's going to do something, he's definitely going to do it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But so do I.
Let me ask you, though, one question. He talked about he's back in UWA after a 2-year absence. Mm-hmm. Do you think that maybe now, as a champion, that maybe he'll make his home in UWA? You know, we talked with Jack Delta on Monday about staying home for a change, making a promotion, one of them finally his home. Do you think that Aaron Blaze maybe permanently make UWA a place that he'll call home, or is it just another stop on the road? Go ahead, tell me why.
Well, for starters, he's passionate about it.
For sure.
Every time we share a locker room, when we do these events, it's never about other places. It's never about any other thing except this building, this arena that many people have stepped in. Many people. He's pure focus. He's focused on making this a home, which I respect a lot. That's a pretty big deal for us. But I think a pretty big deal
he's
for
a talent again. And you've had talents walk in here from different promotions.
Oh,
to have Aaron, he's only 19 years old.
Yes.
The fact that what he's done, so you could have him here, and that's kind of what could build the company even further.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's definitely, I would say the future of what I think everybody's trying to do here.
I agree with you.
And I'm saying that as, somebody that, basically along with a couple other people helped found this promotion. Never said that publicly, but, I helped found it with some other people.
And you've made it a place that I think a lot of people who really want to test their skills come to. It's a place with some tremendous talents. I mean, like obviously Chase Sullivan, who's going to be here Tuesday, like CJ, who's obviously, CJ, boy, and what a championship match we have coming into Final Destination 3, where it kind of impacts you again because you just wrestled Sammy Slade, your Midwest Mafia brother, to a no contest where nobody won. And then we're going to see him again in a triple threat, not only against CJ, but the birthday boy, Dalton Skull, who, oh, by the way, Dalton Skull used to own a portion of the PWF alongside yours truly. Boy, the irony of all that, but
wrestled for there too.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. And he's wrestled in Tennessee and other promotions there. I love Dalton Skull. And Dalton's actually speaking of that, Dalton Skull is coming on here June the 8th. So I'm going to ask him about this. So to see, I do my due diligence. But talk to me about this match and how it kind of impacts you in the Mafia. But again, CJ, you got Sammy Slade, you just wrestled, and the birthday boy, Dalton Skull. I mean, what can we expect here in the main event of Final Destination 3?
I've been there once myself.
You were the world champion. Absolutely. Yep.
The very first one. It is a tremendous amount of pressure.
Oh, we spoke about it with Mr. Ledger, man. You shared a locker room with on Saturday. We spoke about that pressure for sure.
There is, I mean, I can safely say, there's a lot on the line. I don't know if many people, maybe some of y'all don't follow us. It's fine if you don't, but I guess I can fill you in a little bit.
Oh, I follow you guys, but I'd love to know. Tell me.
No, like anybody that might not.
Okay, go for it.
These three, I would say, are the three hardest working guys because they've put in the work.
CJ has been a guy that you carry your. I mean, CJ's wrestled those matches with Jack Delta are legendary. I mean, CJ's a guy that I spoke about him last year on the show.
CJ is my brother. He is my best friend. He is my. We know each other's families. We know
it's personal.
We're very close. He was the first guy that UWA ever signed. He was the first person.
What did that mean to you?
Well, at the time, he wasn't wrestling. He was brand new. He had never wrestled before, and he wanted to get into it. And it was like, I can help you out a little bit because I knew what I was doing a little bit. And it was a matter of those months leading up to July of 2021, where it was just us talking and training and all of that. Of course, we had our rivalry, of course, but he's more determined than ever. He really is. You talked about Delta. You really talked about the Delta match. You talked about he's faced a lot of the guys that
absolutely.
The hardest match of my career was that match with CJ.
You've had a lot of big matches in your own right. Tell me why.
It was physically hard. I suffered a mild concussion in the match. Got hit in the head about 6 times.
Oof. Well, that's why they call you the headshot. Well, actually,
yes. No, that's the ironic part because I mean, a funny story. I mean, it was the hardest day of my life as being a wrestler because it was very intense. It was so violent. It was just difficult, but we grew to be friends because of that more. We grew closer because of that. We had previously feuded. We were enemies, and we grew closer because of it. He's somebody that I trust with my life. I do.
Those some strong words.
And then Sammy Slade is somebody that he is, without a shadow of a doubt, he is. When he says he's made from heartache, he really is.
Watching that match with you that you had with him, oh my goodness, what a match that was. I mean, that match, if you're a wrestling fan, I mean, it's a pure wrestling fan. I mean, that was one of the best matches I've seen, just from a pure wrestling standpoint. I mean, just watching what you guys did.
He can do it all. He can do it all. He's somebody that can do it all.
You know what that match reminded me? It was like watching Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar almost in your style.
That's funny because Kurt Angle's like in my top 3.
I could see it watching you in the ring, my friend. I could see it. I watch a lot of wrestling. There is no man that watches more wrestling than me. I can put certainly my life on it and every penny I have. I can guarantee it.
To me, Kurt
Angle, in the ring, you see it. Yep.
Kurt Angle is the greatest wrestler of all time to me. Mm-hmm. Not just professionally. Kurt Angle, high school champion, college champion, NCAA division champion, Olympic trial champion, Olympic gold medalist, won every important title in professional wrestling. That guy, he can brawl, he can fly, he can make you laugh, cry, hate him. He is, to me, the blueprint for what a professional wrestler should be.
Yep. Absolutely. No question about it.
He's not
and it was actually just the 25th anniversary last week of a match that nobody ever saw really, but it happened. Him and Owen Hart.
Well, he's not my favorite wrestler though. My inspiration, as much as I love Kurt Angle and Bret Hart, those are my guys. My favorite wrestler is Cactus Jack.
You said that before in prior shows.
Love Cactus Jack. Love this. The deathmatch Cactus Jack is the guy to me.
Yes, the one in Japan, the one that was in the early 90s. Yes, that one, not the
that. Well, I mean, also WWF Cactus Jack.
Yeah, I mean, certainly Mankind, Undertaker, and Cactus
But
Jack.
ECW, IWA Japan, FMW,
Yeah, that's the Cactus Show. Even
that's the guy.
yeah, you could
That's the
even
guy for me.
maybe throw in some of the stuff with Vader and Sting. You could.
Yes, but I forgot. Yeah, the Vader stuff is like the Sting match.
I actually watched, but the reason I because I actually watched it about a month ago. I don't sleep. I was up like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I still have the WWE Network. Don't ask how, but I actually watched Vader and Cactus Jack. I have a lot of friends.
Some of the best wrestling. some of the best wrestling.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why I wanted to bring that up there.
That's like, and me and Slade, we love the same kind of wrestling. We both love mat wrestling. We both love, Kurt Angle, Bret Hart, Dan Severn, all that stuff. We love those guys. And we wanted to, and I knew it was going to be a hard one. He hits hard. He does. And then he's also a very sweet guy. He's a very nice guy, but he's driven for this match, this main event match. He is completely driven. He's let it actually kind of come between some of us.
Well, is the Brotherhood torn? Is the Brotherhood torn?
Well,
right
he fought for it in February, and came this close. It was seconds. All it took was a 3 count. It was one move by CJ. It was just one move. But that day, CJ was the better wrestler. And I think ever since then, Slade had a chip on his shoulder. And, me personally, the most interesting thing about the match is Dalton Skull, because I don't know if anybody's spoken about it publicly, but, the horrific injury that Dalton suffered, that I was there for that injury. I was there when it happened.
How did when that happened, because you got your own injury, how did that shape you?
I cried because he was in a lot of, I was torn up. I'm still torn up about it. It's kind of.
Does it make you think differently?
It was hard to look at the ring for a little bit there. It was awful, but like the fact that he came back from that when the doctor said he would never come back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Dalton wrestles every week. I see him in obviously.
No, I'm being serious. Like, he was this close to calling it a career. It was that bad. His collarbone broke inward near his rotator cuff. It was so bad. But he's in the main event, which I think he belongs there. I honest to God think he belongs there. He has the heart and soul of a champion. That guy is, without a shadow of a doubt,
but can he win it? I mean, that's the question.
And that's the tricky thing, I think, for some of our fans, and I think even for me personally. I have a match myself, but you could really call it down this middle pathway here. I mean, you can make a case for all three of them.
I was going to say the same thing. I think between the three of them, I mean, CJ, I mean, we just spoke about him and what he's done. And, Sammy, your match with him. And then Dalton, a lot of people, I think,
they wouldn't mind.
Yeah, they sleep on him because they see him. Another guy that they don't see him everywhere, but the name, and not to say that it's an afterthought of a name, but compared to the size of Sammy and CJ.
Oh, no, but another one of my favorite opponents. I love wrestling Dalton.
What made him such a good opponent for you in your career?
We just have a natural chemistry. Like, we fought a couple times, and each of them we've never had to plan. We never had to call anything. He just went in there and did it. It was
which again, a lot of people say you gotta have some preparation.
Oh no, you do 100%. We've seen some stinkers in that building where they didn't plan.
I've watched a lot of stinkers carried on Sportswire. I mean, but I have no that this wouldn't be the case, and we stay kind of back and forth here.
But,
you know what, buddy? You better be ready.
Oh, I better be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Understand this, you thick skull. You said you want to get in my head. Nobody's ever tried to get in my head. They tried. They've all failed.
Yeah,
I am the master of mind games here in this company, not you and not Dalton either.
You just better be prepared, bitch. There is some ugly tension in the Midwest Mafia, but we gotta
hold on. Do you see how intense that was?
I definitely saw. You could see that. That's why I asked a question about what is the future. We were talking about this off the air. We'll get to comments in a second. A lot of people want to say hello, but
Hi, guys.
What is the future of the Midwest Mafia after everything that's going on? I mean, you guys are divided right now. I mean, you
Oh,
didn't want to
absolutely.
fight. Listen, you didn't want to fight Sammy Slade. You said you did
No.
not want to fight him.
No, because I love him. I love him to death. But
now he's fighting CJ also. Now he wants gold, and
he,
I mean, to me,
he wants gold. I think more than anybody else, he wants the gold, and that's understandable. You know, you want to be the top champion. You know, you want to do all this stuff, but I mean, there is a divide. There is a, you know, it's hard to play peacekeeper. It's very hard to play peacekeeper when it's two people you're close to, and you know, Dalton coming in here, kind of also trying to keep the peace. I know he wants to be the champion because I think everybody wants to be the champion.
Can this group survive, though? Can this group survive?
I don't know. I see this happening one of two ways.
We see it always happening in wrestling. Once gold and other things come into play,
it's an albatross. It's a crown of thorns when it comes to your like relationships, because
pretty much
the UWA title is, you know, our top prize. It's everything that we've, you know, in the underground, we fight for that thing. The other titles, they are there to prove skill. The best hold that belt in this company. That's the straight up about it.
But we've got three names that you could make the case for any three of them now.
And that's what makes this so hard for me to pick, because CJ has the strikes. CJ is a pure striker. CJ is, without a doubt, the most lethal striker I've ever been in the ring.
How about we just saw him on our screen? We'll put him back up again. But I mean, look at this man. I mean, you know, you see.
Okay, but just see this. So CJ in the mask there.
Yes.
In case anybody doesn't know, that man is the most lethal striker I've ever been in the ring with. That man can take your head off with those.
Well, look at him. Look
He's
at him,
massive.
Jake. Look at this man. You think
He's
I would want to
big.
go and mess with him in a dark alley?
He's like 6'2". He's like 260 something, but he can.
I was going to say. I mean, he definitely He had to have played football. If he didn't play football,
he did play. Yeah, he did play football. He played football and baseball.
I was a football and baseball guy myself, though, but I'm not 260. I'm 6'4".
But then Slade has something. I think CJ maybe, you know, Slade.
Is Slade related to Buddy Murphy? Because he almost looks like him.
I have never. Oh my, you're right. I'm gonna call him after this, and I'm gonna
tell him that Tom Bryce. Oh boy, here we go again. Tom Bryce said what again about Sammy Slade? He looks like Buddy Murphy, and then Rhea Ripley's gonna have to do a double take now.
He honestly, I think, has the heart. He has the cardio. He has the stamina to do this. This guy, literally, I think, has every tool, but it's just about. It's always something in the end. It's always
the big one.
Yes, and it's hard to win the big one. And
sure. We talk about it all the time on this platform. Guys come on here and we talk about it. There's a guy, Bentley, in my Hall of Fame that has 2 world championships, and it took him 2 years to win the big one. And he was in like 6 world title matches before he won. R.P. Davis took him almost 2 years to finally win a world title in England. It's very hard to win the big one sometimes. I mean,
but then Dalton, I think, has the most crafty. Like he's crafty. He has the intelligence, I think, to make this work. So what do you got? You put this all together. You have a pure striker who can take your head off. We have a guy who is not afraid of anything and is willing to put his body through hell. And Dalton Skull, who is made of freaking titanium and can basically do most anything.
And it's his birthday, by the way, too, Dalton. So you got to throw in the fact that Dalton's got to be fighting for even more than usual because it's his birthday. I mean, think about it.
It's the event
when he wants to win a world title on his birthday. We see this all the time, whether it's in sports or in wrestling. Somebody wants to win on their birthday.
Yeah. So, like, there's a lot riding on this in the locker room. There is a lot riding on this. A lot of us can't really – we're divided on it. We don't know.
Well, that's why people need to tune in and follow and watch the Underground Wrestling Alliance. You can do that at Underground Wrestling Alliance on YouTube, Instagram, and check them out on Threads. If you want to follow Jake, you can do that here. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters. And if you want to hear from us, we're on sportswireradio.org via the Listen Live button. You can check us out. We have several podcasts out there. We play live music. We do all different types of things. You can check us out anytime via the Listen Live button, and we have a great list of people that have been on this platform in our Hall of Fame. You can also check out more coverage from us tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern time with Nicholas Crenson, who's already proclaimed himself a fan of Jake Howell. So
Oh, thank you.
yes, he's already proclaimed that, and he's going to be in the ring coming up, I believe, next weekend as well in Wrestling Championship Entertainment's upcoming show, Vindication 3. He'll be in the ring. A guy that's very controversial. He'll certainly make you look like you're certainly like sliced bread. Craven Rage, one of the most controversial champions in backyard underground history. But he'll be in the ring with, yes, obviously Craven Rage, who was trying his own knockoff versions of people you once upon a time shared a locker room with and Roman Reigns. But Nicholas will be in the ring. You laughed. Even you thought it was funny. But yes, Craven Rage, obviously, we'll have to see what happens there between him and Nicholas Crenson. But if you want to follow UWA, please do so. And also, we're going to have more coverage coming up this weekend as well with the guys from NEW Underground Wrestling. And
they are talented.
Yes.
I love them.
I'm so glad you said that. I love those guys.
They are awesome.
Yes. They just had their show this past weekend. It was All Out War 9. I was rewatching the show because we're having all of them come on Saturday. And they're just, what a great group of people. You guys obviously get to know you guys lately. You guys such a great group. But there's certain people that I root for and other people I root for on this platform that come on. And I'm like, yeah, okay. They're wrestling, but and I watch them though, and they're all great talents. But I root for them outside of the ring because I see the passion that they have in NEW. I see
absolutely, yeah.
The family, they're all like they bond with each other, they hang out outside of it. You don't get that a lot of times. I've spent my life in a lot of it in the world of politics. So I know a lot about the distrust. I know a lot about the stuff that people have talked about here, breaking the fourth wall. I've lived it, so I could see it. But with those guys in NEW, they really do. They're like a family, and I think that's why I'm so excited to having them come on the platform here, Sarah. And I'll be here Monday night with a man you're going to probably chuckle about, Xavier Thorne. Xavier Thorne. I knew you'd laugh about that one because every time I say Xavier Thorne's coming on, people chuckle. And he's coming back. He's promised it's going to be different. So Xavier Thorne's here Monday night. Yeah, the usual Thorne. Thorne is Thorne, but Thorne is going to be here, and also Sunday night here. I like him, but he's going to be here Sunday night. We have Seth Maverick from the Alliance Wrestling. Okay, so let me ask you though this. Obviously, we're going to take this off the screen. We'll come back to some UWA, but what is your goals coming up for the end of this year? I always ask people that are here the first time, like, what are your goals now that we're going into the second half of the year? What are your goals?
Well, as a person, my personal goals. There's two groups for me. There's personal and there's wrestling. My personal goals is to heal from past relationship. It was bad. It was I was near death, basically.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry.
Oh no. She's already.
Well, I want to let you know if you ever have any problems, then you just message me. You can always.
Okay. I want to say this just on the thing here. Big advocate for men's mental health. Big advocate for mental health.
I do a lot of British wrestling coverage, and it's actually one of the wrestlers. I'm going to talk about this real quick. I want to say hello to Anthony Steele. He says hello to you. What I want to say is there's a wrestler that comes on. He's a very close friend of mine. He's the Tribal Cheese. He is very well known in British independent wrestling. He's also done fighting. He was in the military, and he actually left Cutlery Championship Wrestling a few months ago after their big show and said, I'm stepping away from the ring because I have issues with my mental health. And he's in a men's club. And it's been a big thing in British wrestling that a lot of guys have come out and said, I'm suffering from mental health and this is what it is. And so it's a big thing, around the world for sure.
This is, we in UWA, we prioritize mental health. We prioritize family. We mentioned the tightness of, NEW,
yep.
We whoops, shit. Well,
it doesn't matter. I said it like a million times over and over. They won't hold it against you, trust me.
Literally, I love those guys. Every single one of them. I love them. I talk to them every day. Know their families, met their kids, know them. Their kids come to the shows. We all hang out. It's very family. And if somebody comes in and does not treat, the kids right or treat the wives right, or they just don't respect anything like that, they're not going to last long. They're just not. Like, I prioritize a good locker room. I'd rather have 8 or 10 guys that can get along with each other, love each other, and can make good content than 100 guys that fucking hate each other.
I was going to say that there are some companies we work with, they have 30, 40 guys, and 20 of them, no, not the one you worked for.
I know, but, well,
But there's obviously promotions out there that come on this platform, and, they might have 30, 35, 40 guys, and, there's obviously it's Cowboys Indians,
Good on them.
It's tough. So I agree with you. I think you want to have a bond with people, and I think that, that's why you guys, I think, are such a good product. And, how excited are you for people to see Final Destination 3?
I personally think that it is the FD shows we've done in the past. Of course, they've been centered around, big. This feels like for the first time, the first like complete card. This feels to me like this is the first time we've actually put stuff together that like have divisions, and we've had guys coming in. We get to showcase new people and, showcase the feuds. It actually feels like for once, because the first FD, I'm going to be honest, was difficult to do because it was, our first year. And what the hell do we do with this? What are we going to do? And
nobody knows. Sure.
Only 4 matches. Only 4 matches. I think 3.5 if you want to count it. But then the second one happened. We got a little bit better. This year, I feel like we actually have a consistency with the.
Do you feel that things are coming together then for the company?
Oh, absolutely. We went through a time. There was. If I can just speak publicly on this,
you can say anything. Like I said, on this platform, I think we're legendary for that.
If I can just speak candidly, and if they happen to watch this, I just want to say this publicly. Okay. First of all, nothing personal or what I'm about to say. We've already crossed that bridge many times.
Oh, listen. I don't know if you know this, but I literally do this. I was with Jack Delta on Monday, and I basically said that in Indiana they had him lose to some guy that nobody heard of. He was just in North Carolina versus World Wrestling, where basically they booked him and said he was going to have a match with Aaron Jones, and they had him lose to a guy ecstatic. That it was goofy, and they said in the commentary. Well, hold on. They said in the commentary, Jack Delta has to struggle. He has to hang in VTW. Hello, buddies. Have you seen Jack Delta? So trust me, I have said plenty. No need to worry.
Okay, then here's the truth. Early WA 2021, we had TVW talent on the show. I'm
aware of it. I know it's coming.
On the show.
I know it's coming.
At first, when I left, I didn't care. I wanted to get the fuck out of there because I wanted to die. And it was a rough time. Almost died in their ring. Almost
I'm aware.
died.
I've heard the story.
It sucked.
I'm sorry to hear. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I laugh about it now, but at the time, very traumatic.
I'm happy you're okay.
But the point is that we had him on the show. Everything was fine. We lined the schedules up. There was, there's a little bit of comments here and there because, well, fuck it. I mean, the truth is, I don't think they can stomach that we're here, that we exist.
Well, I said on Monday's show, I'm sure that there's agita about James being in Michigan. I know you've had your things with James, but, James.
I still respect James, though.
I think a lot of people do, but I think James being back, James in his biggest role yet in his career. Ledger was here Saturday. So, I mean, look, there's no question that people are talking. Yeah. People are talking. So, and you're here. Listen, think about it. Everything comes in threes. Okay. Ledger was here Saturday. James was here Sunday, and you are here. So for sure,
I didn't get along with him or Flair. I didn't.
I'm aware of it.
They made my life hell.
That
being said, years ago. But we had the TBW talent on the show, and everything was fine. And then schedule stuff started to happen, and different days and all that. It got to a point where we could not get anything done. So I had to make a decision. Being a part of the people that helped put this together, I'm like, okay. And it's people got upset. They got upset. And I didn't want to do it, but when it was becoming a scheduling conflict and we had to basically fight and stretch and kick and claw for everything we had to do, I got to go and like, this is ridiculous. So I just said, hey, if you want to work there, you can work there, but we're going to, sever some ties and it was no disrespect to them. but this is the first time where things are smooth.
You feel
Ever
comfortable.
since then,
You feel like you've
it's
learned.
been smooth.
Good.
We've been able to plan stuff. We've been able to, lay stuff out, to get new talent over, to bring in the Virginia guys and the BYCW guys. And
we do. Listen. I have a portion of the PWF, and I love the BYCW guys.
the,
I love,
the YBW guys. Like that's.
Yep.
It's the point to me of, for once, it feels like smooth sailing, and there's always going to be internal problems. There's always going to be roadblocks and paths that are not willing.
Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Listen, Rocky said it himself. It's okay, but I think the point is not to regurgitate 2021 in today.
No.
At the company right now, you guys are starting to come into form. You guys have got some momentum. You guys have got some great talents. You got some great matches to look for. We have Chase Sullivan's going to be here Tuesday to talk about some of the fallout. Aaron Blaze is back in the house coming up next month, and I would expect some other guys from UWA to come to Sportswire and talk about some of those things and talk about Final Destination 3 and talk about what you guys are doing. And I think that's what we're excited about. We're excited to see this product. And I think people hearing you, I think will want to say, you know what? Yeah, I might want to tune in because, there's some great matches. Aaron Blaze is here. I've got Chase Sullivan. I've got, obviously, yourself. You're going to be in the ring with Aaron Blaze in a rematch. We've got CJ, Sammy Slade we spoke about, Buddy Murphy's double. I mean, Rhea Ripley, maybe I have to call Rhea Ripley and ask, is it Sammy Slade or Buddy Murphy? That was funny. But the point is that
his wife's going to hate that. His wife's going to hate that.
Well, he might I'm sure he can't say it, but he might like to be married to Rhea Ripley or near be married to Rhea Ripley. But that's a different conversation for a different time. But I think that what we're looking at here in UWA, when we're going to put the links back up here again, is that it's a very strong product. It's a product that I think we can look forward to a lot more from.
My goal with it, I want to make people smile. I
say it every day I'm on this platform. I'm here to give people a good time. When you go to Sportswire, I know you've done podcasts before, and the guys go and ask you, and they're dry, whether it's shooting with the Saints or the guy with the, again, I'm not knocking those guys. I love the Nexus. I love whatever his name is, Weathers. They're great. But on Sportswire, it's, to me, when you're in Sportswire, no. I can say it. When you're in Sportswire, you're in prime time. It's different on Sportswire. It's so different. Yeah, that's what it is.
We do what we do for our fans and to help people. We just want to do it. We don't do this.
That. Love hearing that.
We don't. Again, crucify me if some of y'all want to, but we don't do it. Definitely not for the sake of clout, because we do it because we love the art of professional wrestling.
I love that. That's what it's about. To me,
we love spending time with each other, and I think most importantly, it's an escape. It's
especially in this day and age right now. Think about it, right? What's going on in the world? We have another presidential election divided the country. We have an economy that's obviously divided people. We have wars still going on. We have debt. We have all these problems, the environment. And this is why people come to wrestling. This is why they want to watch UWA. This is why they want to come to this platform and other promotions that come on here. And I think that's, to me, why people should tune in to the UWA and follow in those links below. Also Threads as well. So you can also check you out on Instagram. And I want to say hello to some more people here. D'Angelo Flame calls him horny thorny. I don't think his wife would agree with that, but I'm going to say that Thorne. Well, you should know about the story about Thorne in the bathroom on Sportswire. His most recent appearance, he was doing a number 2, and he claims that he wasn't, but he was pretty much. The footage is there, and I think your champion wants to say hello. Your champion.
Oh my!
Yeah, you might want to more champion. Like, he's probably like, what? He's probably like, what did I just walk into? But
he's gonna call me after this.
What happened with Xavier Thorne again? Every people still ask me about that. One of your colleagues down there in Tennessee asked me about, what happened with Thorne? I said, yeah, he was on Sportswire. Yeah. He knocked on. He was in the bathroom. I was like,
what did happen with
why he came on? But yeah, that's the case. But what do you want to say about your champion? And maybe we'll see your champion here on Sportswire one of these days.
Well, I can say that he's a hard worker. Say that much about him.
Delta found that out pretty frequently.
He is. gonna put you. I will tell them something. You can
He's
call
a
me
big
after.
man. He's a big man. Tread lightly on
Oh,
this.
I know.
Big man. He's a big
he'll
man.
rip into me. There's
He's a big man. Be careful on this one, Jake.
He started a tradition at our taping where, okay, we will be having the most like insightful conversation between the matches.
Okay.
Okay, like we will just be talking, and he'll commandeer the Bluetooth speaker,
Uh-oh.
and he will play some of the most rancid and cursed things I've ever heard in my life, and Big Time Rush.
Rush, Big Time Rush. Oh wow.
Okay, there's Blaze probably has the video. It's a tradition at the bigger shows that we play Big Time Rush before we wrestle. It's a fun. We did it at the very first one, and we just kept doing it. It's a fun. We're all just a bunch of jokers.
I might have expected the band Rush for CJ, but not Big Time.
Oh my God, Rush, man! No, we play all kinds of stuff. You know, like when I'm on the radio, it's like a mixture of like Prince and Tribe Called Quest and
Tribe Called Quest.
Tribe Called Quest.
Scenario.
Well, listen to Low End Theory. It'll change your life. Anyway.
How big is it though for you guys to get warmed up? I never ask companies. I'll get to comment but you guys for that. How big is that?
How do we warm up?
Because you talked about music playing.
Yeah. Oh no,
how big is that for you guys? I never asked companies that come on the platform these things. I get asked so many things.
We set up a day or two before,
and
of course there's a bit of a team meeting beforehand. It's like, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's the matches. Here's
obviously
the segments. Any questions, any injuries I need to know about. Because one time, God, there's so many stories.
Well, how are you doing from your own injury, by the way, famously?
Well, contused sternum is the injury. Got it wrestling Little Mike from TBW when he was here.
I know Little Mike. Yep, do that.
Which he felt bad for, but it is what it is. I'm not mad at him. He's a crazy bastard. I love him though. I had breathing problems. I still have breathing problems.
I'm sorry.
I think some of that stemmed from what happened at the training thing when I was over there. 500-pound dude squished me in a side slam.
That would hurt. Oh,
it was awful. I felt like I was gonna die. I couldn't breathe for like 10 seconds. It was terrible. No. It was. God, that's like one of the worst things I ever felt. But I do my best when I'm in the ring. I get a little bit winded easier because I got this problem. But it's better than it was a couple years ago. It was there. I went from like 230 to 200 pounds because I had a hard time eating because it was hard to
digest.
Yeah, it was hard to get down because of this. So like I went from like 230 to like 200 pounds, and I was like a skinny little thing, and it was funny. It was yeah. I'm just getting better every day.
You feel right now? How you feel wrestling wise in your career? How do you feel?
Wrestling? I mean, there's challenges for sure. Sometimes I'll get hit there again, and it's hard to do the match after that. But I'm still going to do it. I'm not going to quit till the bell's over. But
you're the headshot. You can't quit. You're the headshot.
Wrestling wise, it's. I mean, I've been watching All Japan and all them, so lariats and shit. It's the best.
I can see some of it in some of your style here. Let me get to some more comments here. First of all, CJ wants to say you're welcome. He gave you a laugh, and he didn't know the horny thorny thing, and that's a reference to the guys in Resurrection, obviously. D'Angelo Flames with Resurrection, and Thorne is not in TBW, as I'm sure you're aware of. He's in Resurrection Wrestling now, which has obviously got the TBW guys wondering, well, why is he in Resurrection? But actually, he's doing some good things. I got to give Thorne some credit. He's working hard in Resurrection.
Thorne's a great wrestler.
Yeah, he's getting better. I'm telling you, I've got firsthand reports on it.
When he was here,
I know he was there for you. Yeah, I know he worked for you guys. Yep.
He was nothing but, he was just consistent.
Thorne is a good dude. I think people they just the wrestling is what it is. But
Well,
also, you need to have a MWM meeting soon. That's
shit. Well, all right.
Well, speaking of people, Aaron Blaze wants to say Xavier who. I knew he was going to say that, by the way. Aaron is going to say that.
Don't even get him started.
I know, because I'm going to have him here, and Aaron and I talk sometimes late at night. I want to say hello to the buddies in the great state of Ohio from DKW.
Oh, Buckeyes.
Yes, the Buckeyes. We love the Buckeyes from Dark Cryptic Wrestling, and they have a thing coming up at Summer Bash in the great state of Ohio from July 7th, which yours truly is actually sponsoring a part of, because we have this thing, the All Wrestling Matters World Underground Championship. So obviously, for those that are traveling, people are. If you want to travel, you want to enter your name into it. Sean Jovi is doing that. So obviously, that is something that you may want to.
Hope y'all having a good night. Then hope y'all doing good.
We're having a great night here, and Anthony Steele wants to say, how you doing?
Oh, well, just the usual, just running around trying to get this show going. And it's always
You have a memory wrestling, Anthony?
I do.
Tell me, because I'd love to know.
Well,
because Anthony always says, "Can I take over Sportswire one of these days?" And I'm like,
it came about. It was so weird how it came about, because when Delta and Riley Bates, Kurt Adams, all these guys, when they come in, it's just it's never something that's come on, we gotta. It's hey, this guy's available, and they want to come down. They know about us.
I think Jack was talking about that actually a little bit.
Yeah, I had just, I had to retire for a little bit because of that sternum problem. I was just getting back, and Steel was one of my first matches back, actually. So it was a pretty fun one. It was pretty fun. We had a good match. It was one of my favorite matches, actually. It's really fun.
I think Anthony's ring ability. Yeah, I think we've said this here because we've watched a lot of Ant. I can't say a lot of it, but we've done a few. We've obviously watched his matches with James and DJ Wolbert. We've watched, I think, an early match with Hunter Halkins. We actually have watched a fair amount of Anthony matches.
Oh, Anthony's
ring ability. Listen, he's one of the pound for pound best. He's one of the guys when he's in the ring. I mean, Anthony, I think he's better in the ring than he is on Sportswire shooting. I actually think he's far better in the ring.
I will say consistent.
Yes.
Consistency is the key.
He's
got it, man.
And that's why he is where he is. And let me get to some more comments, because a lot of people want to say hello. See, there you go. Corn these nuts.
I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. Yeah.
Right,
I knew it was going to happen.
And Jake, I'm sorry for what happened to you at Final Destination 1. Especially
I'll kill you. No,
your house.
Go
for it.
What?
He said, Jake, I'm sorry for what happened to you, and especially when I broke in on your house.
Oh, do y'all want the context for that?
I would love. Are you kidding? We're live. We recorded. Go for it. Let's go live. What have I been telling you the whole night before I present to you something? We are live.
Do you want the kayfabe story, or do you want the funny story?
We're live. You tell me what you want.
Okay, we were just sitting there because we hang out outside of wrestling. You
told us that throughout the evening.
Yes. And we were like, how can we build this match? Yeah, it was, he had watched the first Halloween, which is the best horror movie of all time.
I know you actually, wink, wink, do some horror reviewing, by the way, on a podcast of your own, by the way, on YouTube.
I do.
I know my stuff.
Not since October, but point is, we had watched Halloween. I think Halloween Ends had just came out or something like that. Or Kills, or one of them, one of the new ones. He's like, "Hey, what if we filmed a horror movie type thing and we break into your house?" I'm like, "How are we going to do this?" And John Carpenter's directing on Halloween is top tier.
I've heard that before.
And the photography, everything about that. So we're like, let's just try to replicate that. And that there is a video. It's a creepy video. We shot that thing in a few. See if you can find it, because it was.
I actually might be able to, because as a matter of fact, I think
it was right before FD1. It's like upside down letters. It was God, that was one of the scariest, because we turn all the lights off, and his mask is creepy in like the dark. And we were just trying to think about stuff, and it was like, I don't know, for some reason we just like doing these cinematic things every once in a while. It was like fun.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it right away. I know your horror stuff I have found, but
yeah, okay, here. Well, the point was that we filmed it in a night, and we put it together, and we both looking at it, and he's like, "That is creepy as hell." I'm like, yeah, and it's helped sell the match because it was. He was wearing all black at the time. There's a part where I open a door, and he's in the shadows near the door, but you can't tell because he's wearing all black. And it's actually pretty, that was fun.
Well, I'm going to find it, but I don't know if I'm going to find it just here at this moment, but I do want to come back to some more comments because people.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
People want to talk to you. Also here, Sullivan versus Jake, deathmatch 2 in the works. But I got a good one from Aaron Blake because I think this would be a really, really good comment. I think it's a good thing that what Mr. Blaze about. So let's go to wrestling. Halloween's great, but I'll come to you on October 31st.
Hell yeah.
So D'Angelo, UWA isn't far from you, since he claims, although obviously you may have a difference of an opinion on this, but he actually goes out to, this is a good thing because D'Angelo the Flame is known as this traveling man, right? He's obviously gone to different feds. He's worked in one of the places you used to call home, and I'll name them nameless in front of you. He's obviously home at Resurrection Pro Wrestling. He was in Alabama, the great state of Alabama, for the Alliance Wrestling League.
Roll Tide.
Yeah. He's on his way. He's on his way to NEW and Jake Matthews.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. He's going to be in the Riot in the Ring next weekend.
Oh, that is so cool.
So I was wondering, on behalf of Mr. Blaze, do you think that D'Angelo the Flame, could he maybe, hang and show up in UWA? Because you've had guys come in here.
Oh, he could hang.
Yeah?
I know he can. I've seen his stuff. He's great. I mean, he's definitely
so
on our radar.
You would definitely open the door for D'Angelo.
He's on our radar, yeah.
Definitely on your radar?
We have a couple guys, that are on our radar. We're always looking around. And I like to focus on our home base guys the most.
Absolutely.
Obviously,
but having Aaron Blaze, right, that does help, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, to have some people come in and opens the door. I mean,
but Aaron Blaze and D'Angelo the Flame would be a generational match.
Oh my God, are you kidding? That'd be fantastic.
Jake Howell and D'Angelo the Flame. How about CJ and D'Angelo?
Since she'll be Heritage Champion, it's not May 25th yet.
Today's May 22nd.
Yeah, we're a couple days away.
But I would even just say, well, how about just even a match, just Aaron Blaze and D'Angelo the Flame, just a match. Let's say you beat him Saturday. How about just a match between those two guys in your ring? Could you imagine? Yeah. You know what though? But here's another thing for you. Could you imagine the guys in Indiana? They'd be going nuts over that. Could you imagine your former promotion in Tennessee if they got wind of the fact that Aaron Blaze, D'Angelo the Flame would happen in your promotion? Could you imagine James Taylor and CJ Black in Michigan? They're gonna be up in arms. So you have a chance. You have a chance maybe to do something. You come live on Sportzwire. Maybe you should try that. Having that idea.
We've sent some feelers.
Well, I think we're live, and I think that Mr. LaFlame's listening. I think that Mr. Blaze is out there. I mean, I would think that obviously, could do yourself a favor here to maybe, win some
what? When the time is right. That's all I'll say. When the time is right.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, because again, obviously Mr. Blaze's former cohorts in Indiana would obviously be.
Me personally, I'd like to see him in our ring. I would. I think he'd fit well here.
And Mr. Blaze and Mr. LaFlame would be a match again that certainly, some.
That would be. Good Lord.
And I got a fun question for you. All the guitars in the back. So you want to talk about the guitars for us?
Oh yeah, I play music.
Okay. What kind of music you play?
I mean, whatever comes to mind.
Are you in a band or such?
I make some solo music.
Okay.
I love music. It's like it's right there with wrestling as a passion. Music has healed me.
Music and wrestling go together.
Oh, absolutely. It's very important that somebody has good music because it could be the shits if somebody
People
has
remember music all the time. People remember Real American. People remember Stone Cold Steve Austin. People remember The Shield. You mentioned CM Punk. You heard Cult of Personality. That's how you got into it. People
Although
Mhm.
I prefer This Fire Burns for CM Punk.
I don't know.
That's kind of controversial, but that's the Punk.
I don't know. I don't
They're
know.
both good. They're both
I like
good.
you a lot, but I don't know. I think Cult of Personality is got to be his. I think
It's a
gotta
toss
be-
up on either day for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean,
I mean,
okay,
like,
but
that's
music,
to me like that's like if some fans would say they liked Eye of the Tiger from Hulk Hogan, but it's really Real American's the one that I think people.
I mean, it was a fun song for him, but Real American is the iconic one.
Yeah, well, that's a good, interesting. But I think music and wrestling definitely go hand in hand.
I love music.
Let me say here. Also, you scared the Jesus
Oh
out of
no,
him.
yeah, totally. It's fucking haunted.
Aaron Blaze wants his win back from CJ. Mr. LaFlame would like to say that he's got a couple of stops, but he'll definitely move some stuff around because he's not far from you, obviously.
Oh no, he's not too far away. Matter of fact, from the great city of Memphis, home of the king.
Love Memphis. The music. No, Nashville's the music city. Elvis
Oh
is
my
home.
God, I gotta, Memphis. Honestly, man, I went on a pilgrimage to Mississippi to find blues,
Mhm.
and I stopped in Memphis, went to Elvis's house, and I swear to God, I saw a ghost there. It was the
Now,
creepiest.
was BB King from Memphis as well?
I believe he's somewhere from Mississippi or Memphis. He's a great guitarist.
Well, BB King is considered to be the greatest blues guitarist, right up
He
there.
is, man. He's the best. Shit.
That's why I mentioned him.
He's great.
Speaking of some of the best that I've ever been on my platform, I want to say hello to a man who is up at 4:40 in the morning in the UK. That is the Tribal
Oh
Cheese
my
logo.
goodness.
He's a legend there wrestling wise, and I'm going to bring him back onto our platform to put him in our Hall of Fame. I believe next Friday, if the Tribal Cheese has some availability. I've got nothing planned next week, and I like to bring him back.
Can I just say really
Say
quick?
anything you want.
The British wrestling style is amazing.
World of
Especially,
Sport. Yep.
yes. Thank you. World of Sport, amazing.
I
studied that a lot.
Tribal Cheese is gonna know this. There's a guy, unfortunately, a very controversial individual named Marty Jones, who we know.
Yeah, Marty Jones.
I've actually spoke to Marty Jones once, and Tribal Cheese is should I say it? He's sort of worked for him. Marty Jones is a legend, but these days he's like, how can I put it? He's just unfortunately like he's stuck in a time warp. He just,
oh yeah, I mean brilliant
mind. But yeah,
was.
there's another
Brilliant
guy.
wrestler Marty Jones was.
Oh, forget about it. His all those giant haystacks and all those guys.
All Rollerball Rocco.
Yep.
All Rollerball Rocco, Mick McMahon, Jackie Paulo, all
Yep.
them great professional
Yes,
wrestlers.
then. I love all that stuff, but Marty Jones is not a guy I'm a big fan.
Fit Finley for life.
Hey, listen, some people would say Fit Finley is better than William Regal in a ring. I mean,
Mullet Fit Finley with like the shamrock tights is like a different breed of
Finley
wrestling.
in Europe was different than what you got in WCW or even later
absolutely.
on.
I mean, the British style.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the British style is so cool.
I love British wrestling. I've been covering it for a long time, and Mr. Sullivan wants Blaze too. Also, Mr. Blaze would like to say people are getting hot right now. You want to get pinned twice in a row again, Sullivan. Your luck stinks, homie. Anthony Steele says, when we get in round 2?
Well, first thing I got to do is on May 25th is take my title back. I don't know.
Well, Anthony Steele's a name you could bring in. I mean, he's not in the other promotion with 3 initials, so you probably have some common things there.
I mean,
but Anthony goes everywhere. Honestly, Anthony was in Iowa with the IMF. He was in, he wrestled for a lot of Indiana and XCW. He's in a lot of places. He's another traveler.
He's a globetrotter, man. He's great.
He is.
He's awesome.
And he loves to be on. He loves to talk. He's just a guy that a
yes,
lot of
he does. But that's why we love him.
Yes, I love Evan Anthony. Also, the Tribal Chief said yes. It's definitely been way too long. That's why next Friday is going to be a good time because I got nothing to do next.
Also,
Friday.
cheers to the UK.
Oh, listen, I
Just
always tell
UK.
people love England. We have so many fans on Sportswire that
Britain,
come.
hell
I
yeah.
cut my teeth really in wrestling from there. So,
Hey,
yep.
hey,
Yes.
hey, British fans, if you guys are listening to this, just for you guys, I've wanted to do a British round style match eventually. So if we do that, y'all have made me so happy sometimes with your wrestling. I'd love to pay homage to it somehow. I love it.
Absolutely. Would
Love it.
to see that.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
He's tried to get a match with Blaze in 2023.
Yeah.
Don't know. I don't remember the Darkon. Did you ask for a match with Aaron Blaze? Where do I recall this? Okay.
Y'all just running ankles in the chat. That's just crazy.
I got a lot of comments. Let me try to get to him. That was my debut, Blaze. It's 2024. I'm the first ever Triple Crown champ of the UWA. What about you, Mr. I Got Released? Ooh.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You want some? Come and get it. I'm going to say it like how Limp Bizkit used to say it, Fred Durst. I'll put my title on the line. I'd rather get released and draw more views versus needing to hide behind Tristan Taylor and still getting no reaction from fans.
Hey, don't diss Tristan Taylor.
It's a burn, though.
Without me.
I've done more in the UWA than you'll ever do in UWA. There ain't no hiding. I'm one call away.
Now,
okay.
Are you sure?
And call in some eyes for I got this, but sorry, my bad. Darkon, I wasted my time in SeaWorld. I think I know where SeaWorld was. Yeah, well, they certainly were a place that if you want to go. Well, actually, you know what? And again, I love a lot of the talent there, but if you want to go to the Isle of Irrelevancy, if you want to be in irrelevancy and obscurity, that's where you would go to.
You know what? I'm just going to say it. If y'all are listening, I'm sorry. But y'all got to y'all in Indiana, I like some of you.
I love a lot of them. It's one person that I think most people have a problem with.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. I'm not going to name him by name, but he's kind of unprofessional sometimes.
Listen, there's a list of people that
he came to my building. He came to my building because
I know who he is. Don't like him.
And he was rude and disrespectful. He didn't respect anybody. He was big leaguing everybody. I'm going to be honest. XCW, y'all been around for 20 years. I respect that fact. 20 years, nearly quarter of a century, but just I don't have good thing to say about your patriarch.
Oh, listen, he
treated me like shit, man.
You know what? And I got to be honest, I have gone to bat for that promotion. I have gone to bat for a lot of the talent in here. But for an example, the world champion came on the platform. And it was like if a tree fell in a forest. Did anybody hear it? It was almost like who's the
XCW champion again?
Biano Diaz. He came onto the platform and literally nobody knew about it. Literally.
I am not being disrespectful. I'm trying to think about who that. Oh, yeah. Hey.
Yeah. So what's that?
Bush Hunter.
We've been trying to get him on the platform. Another one, I'm trying to get him on the platform for months.
He's a sweetheart. He's a sweetheart.
Oh, listen, I
love him.
I want to give you something in a minute, but I don't want to turn this into an Indiana, all of a sudden execution. But
I love Indiana.
I love the talent in Indiana, but
my family's from Indiana, and
I love Indiana, but I think that one man is basically taking a company and putting it into where the public opinion. It's almost like somebody's doing it basically for their own vested interest, which again, and also, by the way, he complains all the time about the company you used to work for, but at the end of the day,
he brought them in.
Yeah, he brought, and on top of that, he wishes, despite what he says, he wishes he could have 1/10 of the fans.
Oh, you think?
Former promotion. Yeah, of course I know it. Absolutely.
Oh my. How could you see it? It's not like you can't just see it from freaking space.
It's like when Thursdays come on and his show goes first and there's like 2 people, 3 people watching it, and then they complain and then they wonder, well, maybe it's because you're on the Isle of Irrelevancy and the Isle of Obscurity and you're kind of just, shipping, with ship with no sail.
Okay. Indiana, most of you, I like you. Hunter, Brady Branson, those guys. I like
Yeah,
those.
I love almost all the guys in the locker
Sweethearts.
room. It's really, for me, it's one person who decided to, say something about the platforms, Hall of Fame, and doesn't promote his brand and doesn't do, he runs it like a good old boys club, runs it like a Southern redneck country club, has the same storylines, has a 2013 redux of a storyline that's totally complicated now. They put one guy who had a ladder briefcase and then gave him a secondary championship as what his prize was, and had him
How
lose
do you
every
waste
match.
Delta and Blaze?
You had Delta and had him lose to a nobody. You had Blaze come in, who was and you hyped Blaze up. You actually built a show toward Blaze. Then you don't even properly put Blaze in a spot where he should have been. To me, it's just like when we had the guys in North Carolina Delta worked for, and we talked about them, and basically they wasted Delta. And
At least give them some momentum.
They wasted Delta. They wasted Blaze. They wasted Omen Black. They wasted Soldier GP. I mean, we can keep going to push guys with 3 initials that nobody knows of, but because he does
on and on.
Yeah, nobody wants them because they do the editing and they do the booking. But that's where the line blurs a bit because, and then people complain, well, you didn't bring them on enough. Yeah, I bring them on, but nobody wants to hear them because they don't promote it. So, I'm just being honest. Listen, I love Indiana. I love the product, but it's obvious that they don't want their product to be promoted. It's almost as like if you go to a bar and there's like 4 people in the bar, the same 4 people drunk, and you walk into the bar and you think you might want to sit down and grab a chair. Meanwhile, there's like the whole bar is empty and you think you could grab a chair, but almost like they don't want you to be invited. That's kind of like anybody going to Indiana.
It's like a strip club on a Tuesday night.
Honestly, I would tell people at this point, if they were going to think about going to Indiana and they're not from Indiana, I would say save the trip, save the tickets, save the board and plane, and save all the costs.
Go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I would say go to a Pacers game. You'll probably spend less on the Pacers ticket than going and sitting there for a day or two, helping them.
Watch out for Bobby Knight. He'll fucking choke you.
Well, that one guy from Indiana's kind of more or less got the same personality as Bobby, but he's always complaining. But meanwhile, I would tell anybody, if you're thinking about going to Indiana, maybe go to UWA instead.
Oh, thank you.
Go to UW. No, seriously, go to UWA instead. If you're in Indiana right now, or you're actually thinking about going to Indiana, save the plane tickets, save the Greyhound, save all that fare, and just put that fare onto UWA.
Do you know why Chase Sullivan calls his move the bus driver?
Because he knows how to drive a bus.
Well, no. Okay, yes, but one of his first time down here, he got stranded in Bowling Green, Kentucky from a Greyhound.
Oh, boy.
There wasn't even a state. It was literally an abandoned lot near a damn Cracker Barrel.
Oh, my goodness.
It wasn't even a Greyhound station. It was an abandoned lot in the ghetto of Bowling Green near a Marathon gas station.
I would say that more people, I would say more people in that abandoned lot, or the lack of amount of people there, would still have watched more people live than the upcoming show in Indiana.
That's fucking hilarious. Okay. Positivity.
I'm going to get to positivity. Let me get to some comments because I want to give you something on a positive note before we get to closing thoughts. Man, we know that. And listen, I think, Mr. Blaze, you would be very happy with me sticking up for you. Mr. Blaze, you'd be very happy about some of the things I've said about India. Because like I said, if a tree fell in a forest, you wouldn't have heard it, right? So obviously, when it comes to Indiana, I mean, nobody would know about it. It's almost like, the Pacers have never won a championship, and that company, Indiana, has never been relevant. I mean, despite the 21 years, seriously, they're in existence for 21 years, but yet the guys in Iowa have more subs. The guys in Massachusetts, NEW, have more subs, way more subs. I mean, the guys in North Dakota, Legendary Backyard Wrestling, on the trampoline have more subs.
Is that where Kurt Adams?
What's that?
Is that where Kurt Adams and Riley Bates work?
No, they're in the Backyard Wrestling Nexus.
Are they?
Legendary Backyard Wrestling, yeah. They're CJ Junt, CJ.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Kurt Adams is also from like the Dakota area. So like,
Yeah, but not that company.
No. My bad.
They're on the
my bad.
trampoline. They're on the trampoline. I mean, I love those guys, but their product is the Backyard Wrestling Nexus. But the point is, even they have more subscribers and more people that watch their shows and come in their chats here on Sportswire than the Gold Standard. The Gold Standard. They're the Gold Standard. But yet,
Wait.
they're the self-proclaimed Gold Standard.
Is that what they call themselves?
They're the Gold Standard. But let me repeat, legendary Backyard Wrestling from North Dakota in the Nexus. How about Ace Reed and BWU, Backyard Wrestling Down Under? I think they have almost as many subs as Indiana, and they get far more views. I mean, you guys are getting more views than Indiana. You guys are getting more views now on the show. James Taylor, now that he's back in power again with Michigan ROEW, they're getting more views. I mean, we can keep going down the list of companies that get far more. There's even Mr. Delta's last stop in North Carolina, despite the cliquish politics those guys play there, these so-called indie darlings. I mean, there's 8 of them, and they're all indie, basically wannabes, but they still have only had, they've maybe been there, 2.5 years in their promotion.
Is there just more that I don't know about?
Listen, they got way more views in Indiana. So the point is, if it's in Indiana, it's almost like going to church Wednesdays at 5:30. Nobody shows up. I mean, can you imagine the usher? No, can you imagine the usher going into for collection? There'd be no payment. They'd actually have to pay. So that's kind of what it is.
Who put a Chuck E. Cheese token in the collection? Who put
they
that?
Would have to come up with, they would have to come up. They would have to find ways for Indiana. Find ways. But remember, they're the gold standard, though. They're the gold standard. They're the gold standard, Indiana. They're the gold standard.
You are amazing. I just want to tell you that.
I call it down the line. See, you know what it is? One man wanted to take a shot at the platform. He took a shot at my Hall of Fame and said, you know what? There's 80 guys, 90 guys. You know what? I'm going to put 10,000 guys in my Hall of Fame. You know why? Because true wrestlers go out there for their blood, sweat, and tears. Guys go out there, and they deserve to be recognized. You can have your own Hall of Fame in Indiana and maybe force your talents to pay, and then maybe have your own promotion.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, have your own promotion. You're starting it off to put your, 6-year-old son to be a champion. When he turns 16,
I don't understand that's kind of. I'm not trying to shit on this, but does anybody else find that little fucking creepy?
Well, he'll be set when he becomes of age. He'll be the world champion. There, he'll be the world champion.
But why?
And we're talking about feds where guys get booked over and win a title.
Why are you parading your son around on YouTube for what?
Because the son gets more views than the so-called indie promoter. I mean, he was an indie guy, but he was an indie guy. He was indie, so can't. He's the sacred cow. He was indie, so you can't. He was an indie guy. He was a ref. He went out there, so nobody can argue with his account. He knows everything. So when he talks about your former employees in Tennessee, and he talks about them, but you know what though? Those guys started out with a dream. They didn't have the whereabouts. You can say anything you want about Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, but you only talk about Tennessee Backyard Wrestling because you're jealous of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. You have 1/10 of the views of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, and it eats you up alive that the likes of Joshua Fletcher and certainly Mr. Titan started a company from scratch and made it to the point where they were mentioned on Barstool Sports, to the point that they were mentioned with Macon Iron Fitness as a sponsor, having a write-up in the Tennessee paper, and you've been in it for 21 years, though. Yeah, 21 years. We've been wrestling 90. When did we start? 95, 96? I mean, you want to talk about people talk about James Taylor, but James Taylor at least is relevant. People talk about James Taylor every day. People talk about him, but the one promoter, does he even watch wrestling? I mean, he basically recycled the storyline for 10 years ago, and then he had a storyline with it, and then he has a champion, and he just builds up a group, and then he tears the group down 2 weeks later. No, I'm not even trying to knock the company because I love the talent in the company. I'm just telling you how it's presented. Unfortunately, yes, I told you on Sportswire we do things differently here. See, I just tell you the truth. I don't remember. I'm not employed by Indy. I'm not employed by anybody. Nobody employs me. As a matter of fact, I could buy any single promotion that if I felt like I wanted to, I could, and do it 10 times over. I mean, as a matter of fact, I think people would much rather see me in charge of Indiana. I think much more people would rather see me in charge of some of these other feds. But I'm just telling you the fact. Because again, people, that's what they want. They want to hear the honesty. So at the end of the day, I'm sure I earned a few fans of certainly some talent in your locker room. But in the interest of time, I want to present you some because I want to go in the positive. I want to just, I know I could do straight.
Yeah, because that was, you not only just buried him, but you sang the funeral procession. You hired undertakers and Paul.
I'm a reverend, by the way. I live across the street from a cemetery.
Really?
So I could get the funeral. I can get the coroner done. I can get I can get all the pew done. I can get the priest. I'm a reverend. I could take care of that. I could get him a plot. I could obviously get him a casket if I wanted to. I could get him, a sympathy card. I could get him, a whole bunch of different things if they wanted, because obviously that would be that. And then you know what? When they're obviously dead and buried, I could then basically buy the catalog and do more with it than they'll have with the current catalog. So at the end of the day, I think that sure. I mean, yes, obviously. It was nice knowing you. This was a longer obituary that more people tuned into than maybe the last show they had last week.
Jesus H. I mean, it's just boom, 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 boom.
That's what you get when you go after my platform. You go after the people, and you know what? I'm going to say it here. He went after Aaron Blaze. Aaron Blaze. And you don't go after a man that has gone out and traveled. He went out for hours to come to you. You know what? He even went after Anthony Steele in the past. He's gone after Omen Black and
he's gone after me.
And that's why I'm sticking up because I like you. Because, you came and said how much you were honored to be here. You talked about, and that's why I stick up for my people. You can say anything you want about me. I'm this guy with a New York accent. I'm a guy who's basically got an attitude. I'm a guy that's, certainly talks, and maybe I'm a BS. No, I'm none of that. But I'll tell you, anybody who goes after my guys, you don't want to go after me.
Oh, no.
I'll cut you, and I'll cut your heart out. You don't.
When I found out what they were doing to him, I was pissed.
I was mad too, because Aaron, I've gotten to know Aaron. Aaron is a good dude. Aaron is misunderstood. Let me tell you something. Aaron has been misunderstood for a long time. What this young man has done, the hours that this man has put away from himself, his family, his community, anybody who goes after Aaron is a personal attack. Aaron is a friend. Aaron went out there. He went to help that promotion. Guys like Omen and Soldier went to help that promotion. Guys like Darkron and Matthew Forsaken went to help that or try to help the promotion. Guys like the Midwest Express and the IMF. Guys like Jacob Collins. Guys like JX. Guys like Jack Delta went to go to help that promotion. They went to help them. But when you play the Roberts rule of politics, and then when you play basically, remember, we're the gold standard. We're the gold standard. Yep, I'm an indie guy. I was friends with Dylan Bostic.
Here's some cap. Here's some cap.
Oh, listen, he cap. He needs to. His company, if he's continuing to run it, we're going to be passing the coffers around because obviously there ain't anybody watching. So again, it's like going to church and there's nobody there. You're having a sermon, but what's the point of the sermon? Nobody's there. Nobody there.
Go to church.
But that's what happens with some companies. That's why I want UWA to be promoted and supported, because in UWA, we do things differently. We don't play the same old stuff like they do in Indiana or in North Carolina, where they have the same matches, the same people, and then they try to misguide people, and it's intellectual dishonesty. We don't do those things here. In UWA, we're doing things differently. We're doing wrestling the way it ought to be. We're sticking to the basics. We've got some of the biggest figuratively and literally stars, and we've got a company that's in the underground, but is doing it the right way, doing it by and for the fans. That's why you want Final Destination 3. You want a Final Destination. You want Memorial Day weekend to start and kick off. You go to the Underground Wrestling Alliance YouTube page. You go out and watch Final Destination 3 because there's nothing else going on Saturday night, nothing else going on Saturday afternoon. You have no excuse other than to watch Final Destination 3.
I mean, I'm going to just say, just from the perspective of the management here and from the talent and everybody, I would say top to bottom, it's the most consistent and probably best card since our Unleashed event last year.
And I can't wait to watch it. I am excited because I am excited to be working with you guys. I'm excited to be here talking with you guys because you guys, I'm fired up. You were talking. Let me tell you something about this man, Jay Cal. People can say whatever they want about Jay Cal.
And they have.
And I love it because, listen, I love bringing people on. But here's the facts. Jay Cal was talking about for days how pumped up he was, how excited he was on coming on the Sportswire. He was talking about the fact how excited he was. He wanted to be here. I want people who want to be here. I don't want to have to say, oh, can I please have your companies on? And can I please have your stars on? Because we need. No, I want people who want to be here. Jake Howell, Chase Sullivan wants to be here. Aaron Blaze wants to be here. We can keep going. Sammy Slade will be here. CJ will be here.
Yeah.
They're going to be here because they want to be here. And that's what it's all about here.
I wanted to say something. This is a true thing.
You can say anything you want to me.
I know, but this is a bit of a learning lesson for me. When I left the place, right, I did receive death threats. I received a lot of threats from people.
I'm sorry to hear that.
They would show up to my job. It's a tangled web here. And I know they'll probably see this and then they'll say, oh, he's talking. No, I mean this.
No, I've done more of the talking than you tonight. You have been a good man.
A lot.
You know what? I know James wanted to be here. I know Anthony wanted to, but I want to stick to you tonight because I want you to be comfortable. I know that there's a lot of issues, but I want you to be on the positives.
Well, I mean, with James, if I can just speak candidly, I know he mentioned the criticism type thing.
Of course you can. You can say anything you want.
And I know he's probably still watching, and I just wanted to put this out there. Criticism in its nature should be both learning experience and should come from a place of actually wanting to succeed. This criticism he was referring to came about because I released Joe Anderson and Xavier Thorne because they were not showing up to my tapings and they were causing problems. He then said,
"It's your call. Listen, it's your decision, and
well, it was
right to do whatever you want."
It was basically because they were better off with TVW, and I didn't want to, I admitted, I was like, you know what, y'all are probably better off there because I think we're kind of, Joe had been here from the beginning, and Thorne was just
Joe was your champion. I'm aware.
Yeah, Joe was the first champion. Yeah.
Yep.
And believed in him, but I think it was just time to make a change. He'd been here for a couple of years. He'd done what he needed to do, and Taylor texted us privately, and he was like, "Well, now y'all are a joke because you released two of your best. I was going to come work for you, but I never want to work for you again. You guys are a bunch of jokes," and it just kept going on. Which I'm used to that. I'm very much used to people.
But you know what I want to say something on this, and I'm going to say something you might be surprised that I'm going to say is that Aaron Blaze long had some issues with TBW as well. He came on here a couple of weeks ago, and you know what? We talked. And I truly believe that this is why you should have been here tonight, is that people heard Aaron Blaze and they heard different things, but they said, you know what, Aaron Blaze, he's not a bad guy after all. Aaron Blaze, all the lies they heard from Indiana, all the lies they heard from other promotions, when they heard him here face to face, man to man, like you're speaking to me right now, man to man, they see that he's not what they said. I'm talking to you right now. Listen, you don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything. You're here and I'm looking at you man to man. I think that a lot of people who know the history and they know what's obviously going on, they're looking at you today in 2024. And I'm a believer in water under the bridge. People are looking at you, sure. Maybe you had history with James. Maybe you had history with Anthony. Maybe you had history with Jack Delta. Although Jack, I think, actually praised you on the air here in the past.
Oh, no. Me and Delta, we're pretty cool.
But the point is that you might have had history with people. But you know what? At the end of the day, you're here with me right now. And a lot of people are watching. And I think they're saying, you know what? Jake Howell's a good dude. I want to see him succeed. Because you know what? When you succeed, everybody succeeds. I'm not in the business of telling people, unless they take a direct shot at certain people, like that one promoter in Indiana, even with the whole thing with Delta in North Carolina, I don't want those guys to fail. I didn't like the way they do things, but I don't want them to fail. But I think people seeing you tonight, they want to see you succeed.
I'll even admit where I was wrong. I'll admit when I left there, in the James situation, I can be kind of a hothead. I can.
But you know what? But everybody gets heated. Have you seen me on these streams?
Yeah, I mean, and I guess I just say it, Gage, Troy, Josh, if y'all see this, then I don't care. Yeah, y'all hurt me. Loved you guys like family, but it's what it is. I've tried to move on. Some of them can't move on, honestly. there's still bad blood there in some aspects. I just
Oh,
try.
I'm sure that there's always going to be that lingering.
Well, I
But
mean,
at the end of
because
the day, you got your own Fed.
everyone tried to mend it, but I just said, why can't we just exist peacefully together and not even interact? Because we're two different things. We're two different entities. We're two different, I do not think the same way as Gage Cross does. I don't agree with a lot of
But you know what though? You have your own Fed, and
Yes.
you got you're doing really well right now. And that's why I brought you here tonight. I didn't bring you here to talk about 2020. I brought you here because
Hated that
Final
here.
Destination 3 is coming up.
Yes.
You got CJ, you got Dalton Skull. Happy birthday, Dalton Skull.
Happy birthday, Dalton.
Sammy Slade.
Not
Great
just them.
match.
Not just them.
I was going to get to some more, but go ahead.
There's Chase Sullivan and our commissioner. They're going to fight in a last man standing. Our commissioner.
Fred Anderson's on your roster. I mean, you got a lot of guys that, I
really trying to get this, I would like, if y'all feel like giving us a subscribe, giving us a follow, I would appreciate it. You don't have to. I just hope y'all have a good day about it. But, truthfully, we're looking to, I don't want to be the one that's loud and always said, yeah, you got to come watch it. You got to come see it. I'd rather just be like, this is our product. These are our guys. This is our show. We hope you enjoy it. God bless you. Have a good day.
I think that's why people tonight got to see a little bit of your product. They got to see where to follow you guys. And I think that's why I have something special for you before we move on.
Oh, you didn't have to do that.
Oh, I do a lot of things. There's no, like I said, there's nobody like this platform. There's only, listen, I'll honor 1 million people. I'll put 10 million people in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to put 100 million people and honor them and give them things. You know what? That's what it's about. Hillbilly Tilly famously said it. True wrestlers go out there and do it for the blood, sweat, and tears. And I think every day that I'm on this platform, I have a civic duty to go out and honor all of our yarders, all of our undergrounders, some of our independent guys. And I believe in that, as I believe that this is why I'm here. I'm not here for me, for the money, for the notoriety. I'm here to put you guys and give you guys a place that you guys to be needed and deserve to be recognized, which is why I am making you officially the headshot of Sportswire Radio. Congratulations.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
That's why I wanted you to have something that I'll send it to you when we're on here. I wanted you to have this.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Weird.
That's my John Hancock.
It's funny that a name I came up with in a Florida hotel room for a Larry does not want a certificate.
Well, congratulations, because that's the case. And that's this date. Well, yesterday's date, New York time, and my logo and my signature. And I wanted you to have something that, was very special. And CJ said he would be honored, and I'm going to put CJ on this platform in the month of June. So consider that done.
Oh, no, you should.
I want to.
If I don't say anything else, I just want to just say to my guys, because I know y'all are probably going to watch this, I love every single one of you. We've been killing it. We've been so tight-knit together. I love all of them. Die for them. Love them to death. They are my friends.
And hearing that is why I want people to support the Underground Wrestling Alliance, and I want people to watch them one more time before we get to some closing thoughts. You can check them out on Instagram here. Check them out there. YouTube link is right there. You can also check them out on Threads. Yes, there is Threads. You can also check out Jake's pages as well. And Nicholas Crenson, my guest now today, says he'd love to work for me as a promoter. Well, right now, technically, I'm on Sportswire Radio, and I have given my blood, sweat, and tears for UWA, Blaze, same camp.
Oh, no. He has. Sullivan, I'm going to be, I've seen people shit on Sullivan sometimes.
I got him here Tuesday, so I'm looking forward to having him here. He's here Tuesday night.
I can safely say he's a sweetheart. He is caring. He's loyal. We do butt heads creatively sometimes, but everybody does. I mean, honestly, I think that he's somebody that I look at. He is just a pillar. I would say he's somebody. If there were ever pillars of UWA,
he would be like one of your core four.
Yes. He would.
Your core four.
And he earned that spot through hard work. So did CJ. I put Dalton there. You know,
By the way, I have Dalton here on June the 8th. I have never had Dalton on the program, and we've been trying to get him on for actually, I think, like about a year almost. So
you guys are going to love him.
Oh, me too. I mean, Dalton, we speak from time to time, and I'm really excited about
You're
that.
going to love Sullivan and CJ too. They are.
I'm going to love them all. I can't wait to have you guys on.
Love them. Love them. Also, I love all of you watching. Hope you have a good day.
Oh, we've had a listen. Sportswire people, they love it. They love when people come on like yourself. They love it. We have all people on Twitter. We have our internet radio station people are tuned in. We have a lot of people from different places. I've also received messages that Atomic Titan wants to say hello to you. He says nothing but love. And also Anthony Steele says hello and nothing but love. I'm going to obviously leave that at that.
That's cool.
Leave it at that. I want to be that, but before I get to close this, let me ask you a couple things here. First,
okay,
give me your final words for Aaron Blaise.
I've been waiting to say this.
That's why I asked it.
Let's get in promo mode here. There's not many fights and wrestling bouts that we as Underground Wrestling Alliance can say is a super fight. I guarantee you this is a super fight. I guarantee May 25th, in between those orange and yellow ropes, in those walls where so many people have stepped, I'm going to walk in there. I'm going to give 100% of my physical body. Sternum problems be damned. Knee problems be damned. Concussion problems be damned. Because only two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to have to walk out of there as the Heritage Champion once again, holding the championship up high, or they're going to have to cart me out on a stretcher because I will not quit. Blaze, you're going to have to hit me with everything that you possibly can. You're going to have to try to get me down, but I've been here since the beginning. I've seen people come and I've seen them go. I've seen everything that there is to see in this company. But I'm not seeing someone like you. I'm not seeing someone like you that possesses this tenacity, this ferociousness, this rabid dog mentality of professional wrestling. You, Aaron Blaise, are the headline. That is most certainly true. You've proven that, but there's just something you got to know. You see, I'm the headshot. What does that mean? It means that at a certain point in time, Aaron Blaise, if you are not careful when you least expect it, boom. The back of my arm goes on the back of your neck and you're staring at the lights. 1, 2, 3. Aaron Blaise, I respect you as a competitor. I respect what you have done. But the respect has to be left at the door. Fight me. Wrestle me. Do everything you can because I'll do everything I can. Don't bring the Blaze from Indiana. Bring the Blaze that I know you can be.
Oh.
Fight me for the purple and the gold. Do it for the championship means. Fuck the past. Live in the present and do this for the future, Aaron Blaise. When the time comes, only one man can stand tall, and you're damn right it's going to be me.
Oh, boy. Boom. Let's get it on. You know, the talking, it's time for it to come to an end.
Put up or shut up.
This is it. This Saturday, Memorial Day weekend. You know, everybody's talking, like I said, about the barbecues, the beaches are opening, the pool.
No more talking.
It's over.
I don't want to talk.
Me either.
I don't want to talk. You know what I want to do? I want to put my boots on, my kick pads on, my pants on, and my shirt. I want to tape my wrist. I want to go in there, and I want to fight.
And I want to watch it. And I want to watch it, and I want to talk about it afterwards. And I want to see who's the better man and who walks away with that Heritage Championship.
Blaze, if you beat me, which I don't know, I can tell you, you're going to have to do everything that you can. But Aaron Blaise, if you can beat me, as God as my witness, I will shake your hand in that ring, and I will give that division to you because you will have earned it.
Ooh, I tell you what. You know what? Will Aaron Blaise be going out in a blaze of glory? Or will Jay Cal once again show why when you have a headshot, what's the rule of thumb? One shot is all it takes. Will it be that one shot? And it'll be bang, bang, bang. Jake Howell reclaims his heritage as the UWA Heritage Champion of the World. We will find out this Saturday. And Aaron Blaze would like to say the headline will be returned and refined and still trailblazing. Ooh.
Meet me in the ring and prove it.
I can't wait to watch it. You better be watching with me because we'll find out. Will Aaron Blaze be returned and redefined? Or will Jake Howell use that headshot? One kill is all it takes with a headshot. Remember that, one kill. One shot, one kill.
Wait. Let's
Yes,
see.
sir.
I've not done this in a few years. Let's do DOA. That's what you'll be.
Oh.
DOA.
And you know what? Maybe you even want to make that incorporated. Wink, wink, DOA.
DOA. Dead on arrival.
That might want to make that incorporated. Maybe somebody out there might want to use that in the industry. Wink, wink.
Oh, that's a deep cut.
Remember, there's nobody out there like me. You know, all these guys, they ask you about WWE, SmackDown, fantasy booking, and they ask you about, they don't even know how to give you an intro. We do things differently because people want a new era. They want the truth. They want a different kind of truth. They want an inconvenient truth, and they want the straight facts. That's what we give you.
Well, then here's the truth. I'll tell you the truth right here, right now.
Give it to me right now.
Honest to God's truth. I say this for everybody watching at home, from sea to shining sea, coast to coast, America, Britain, everywhere. That the UWA is not about clout. It is not about politics. It is not about bullshit.
Love that.
We represent something called sportsmanship, competition. We represent fierce competition, and most importantly, violence.
All stuff that I think that our audience would love that here. You better watch.
Also watch World of Sport.
Oh, I've been doing that, but yes, for the audience here.
Watch World of Sport and All Japan.
One more question for you. It's the last question I want to ask.
Yes, sir.
You. Is there one or two moments that stand out most in your career so far?
Yep.
Go for it.
Well, the match with CJ at the first FD. 54 minutes of pure hell on my body. A mild concussion, 6 shots to the head. A cookie sheet flew off my back so hard my back muscle spasmed and my arms went out. Winning the title there, it is what it is. But my proudest moment in my career, is every time I get to put on a show.
I like that.
My proudest moment is being there for my roster, for being there for my brothers. My proudest moment is being Jake Howell in the ring for the people that follow me, and also proving the ones that don't like me wrong. That's pretty fun. But just honestly though, the proudest moment of my career is when I get to. I would say it was. I'll say it was that world title match. It was when I was close to the fans and got to fight the top names and all that.
I love that because that shows you that the best is yet to come.
Absolutely.
The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come because, the doors of that building are open. A lot of great wrestlers from around the country that I've seen.
Every day is a good day. Every day that we get a chance to go out and follow places like the UWA, and you can do that there in those links. That's what I want.
There is one thing I'd like to leave off on, and then
you can say anything you want before I get to close. Let's go for it.
This is the last thing I want to say.
You can say 100 things if you want.
I want everybody right now, if you can, just to look at me right now for just a second. Just want to say this. You are loved. You are appreciated. You have something of worth in this world. You are a beautiful human being on the inside and the outside. You deserve the world. Hope everybody has a good day and night, and just live your life to the fullest. Much love from me in Tennessee. Love you very much.
Amen to that. And I think that every day that we get a chance to go out is a good day. Every day we get a chance to go out and be here on this platform. You know, Jack Delta said it best. We have a community here on Sportswire, and that's really what it's about. I said when I had Craven Rage come on here, Craven Rage, just look him up. He's an interesting guy. But I had actually said that I went out and going into the show to put him in the Hall of Fame. My mother was getting married, but I'd rather have been here with Craven Rage of all people, because I felt the community is here. The people are here. And I think that's what it's about every single day, that we get a chance to go out and talk, that you can make a difference for somebody. And we've learned and we've established that. What a great last few weeks on Sportswire it's been. Aaron Blaze was here for the first time, and that opened up so many doors. Speaking with you tonight, James Taylor back in wrestling, Jack Delta, new look, new belt, and the main event finally where he belongs and ushering a new era. Ledger Shade. I mean, nobody ever thought the day Ledger Shade would be here on this platform. We had Jake Matthews here. We've had
Jake Matthews.
Love Jake Matthews. We had
Jake Matthews.
Mac 10 was here a couple different times. I mean,
bring him to the UWA show.
Oh, would love. I'll ask him. I'll ask him. He's here Saturday night. I'll ask Jake Matthews. I have no problem with that.
I want to face that son bitch. I love him.
He'll be here Saturday, and I'm going to be here. I will definitely do that, and I'm going to be here speaking with next Sunday. Speaking of people who used to be in UWA, the Atomic Titan's back. Our hardcore king is going to be here.
Oh, cool for him.
He's going to be here next Sunday. I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, we like to give everybody an opportunity here on this platform. We've had some great guests, and I love the momentum. I want to thank everybody. Nicholas Crenton is going to be here. So Nicholas Crenton is here at 10 o'clock. So make sure you're here for that, because Nicholas Crenton's got a lot to say. We've had Omen Black and Soldier GP have been here. Justin Parsley's been here. We've had some really great people. Isaiah Rage and the IMF. Sean Jovi. We announced our All Wrestling Matters World Underground Championship. That was a great moment. D Savage was here. Just really some great talents around. Justin Abel Sane from NEW was here, with the co-owner of that company. We've had some fantastic guests. Scary Terry was here from Legendary Backyard Wrestling. Miano Diaz was here. If somebody did hear it, Miano Diaz was here. But yes, Mitchell Maverick was here. But the point is, we've had some great guests. We've been so lucky. And this continues. The momentum is continued with the headshot. Jake, I told you, you do a good job, and you definitely did that and some. And amen to that. And CJ versus Jake Matthews. Yeah, I'll ask him. They're here Saturday.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to ask them, listen, after your show is done, I'm going to be on the air. I'm going to be at, I think, 9 o'clock we're going on with those guys. So your show should be over by then. So I'm going to be able to watch the show, come on and speak with the NEW guys. And you better believe I'm going to mention Jake Matthews and CJ. You better believe I'm going to mention Aaron Blaze and Jake Matthews and Jake Howell and Jake. The battle of the Jakes. Who will win?
If I ever come back here, I hope I can carry the Heritage title with me to this.
Well, you're welcome. Listen, you can come here every day. You're welcome anytime you want. You're welcome anytime you want. There's nobody in this platform. I don't ban anyone unless there's a reason. Other than that, listen. Xavier Thorne's coming back. Thorne's coming back, so I give everybody a platform. We give,
even though he shat on camera.
But listen. I'm bringing him on because you know what? I bring everybody. Everybody's welcome on Sportswire. So we don't have a policy that nobody's not allowed. We just want everybody to be a part of the community. It's all wrestling matters. And we want to build a community. We want to network with people. We want to give people the opportunity to be together. And that's what it's about. I want to give you the floor. I want to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say?
Yeah. I would say go follow us if you like what we do. If you don't, that's fine. Still hope you have a good day. We have a partnership company that unifies companies together called Infinity.
I saw that. Yes.
Which that's a different story. We hopefully gonna be trying to bring some more stuff out here soon. Of course, we're gonna do FD. We are going to bring it to you guys May 25th. Should be sometime in the evening, the afternoon. There will be a pre-show
I'm looking forward to that.
Let's see. Go follow. Not just if you want to follow me. I do crazy shit. DJ Sullivan, all them. Want to shout out, just so I can just shout out all my guys.
Please go for it.
So just, CJ, Chase Sullivan, Tristan Taylor, Sammy Slade, Dalton Skull, Will Jackson, Brett Anderson, JD Mercer, especially JD Mercer. He's underrated in our company. I kind of want to shout out you. You are such a sweetheart. You are awesome.
I don't know about some of the things I said tonight. I don't know if necessarily everybody would agree with that.
It's like a teddy bear covered in barbed wire. That's just
Well,
what
I think Soul just says that sometimes I turn into old Vince McMahon in some ways, like not today's Vince McMahon, but in the the 1997 or 98.
We're gonna put you in a clown suit.
Well, I mean, that one promoter, I would certainly put him in a clown suit. I would take that fish face of his and certainly make sure that don't come back anytime soon. But that's
SpongeBob.
Well, but I think, look, I want
anyway. Don't forget to love yourself. Yes. Don't forget to love yourself. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Don't forget that you are worth something. It's never worth it, man. God bless you. Thank you so much.
And WC Wrestling Championship Entertainment, WC Heat, IMF Wrestling 666. Follow those guys. Well, they'll be here tomorrow. Obviously, Nicholas Crenson, but that's what it's about. See,
just love yourself, man. Just love yourself. Wrestling rules: pro, indie, backyard, underground, shoot style. Whatever. All cool. Just you do you, man. Love yourself.
Amen.
God bless.
Amen. That's what it's about. Today, we had people that maybe wouldn't have been in the same room with each other, but we learned and we became friends. And, I think that's what it's all about. And I think that's why I want people to go watch the UWA's show this Saturday, Final Destination 3. Jake Howell will be in action against Aaron Blaze. What a match that'll be. And it'll certainly be one of those matches we'll be talking about all year round. Maybe my friend Copper Dragon, who is maybe the official scorekeeper of our wrestling. He's our backyard Dave Meltzer. Maybe he'll rate this match. I'll let Mr. Dragon know about this match amongst some other great matches we have here in UWA, like the main event. And Chase Sullivan's going to be here too. So he'll talk about his match and more. And my friend, it has been an absolute honor. You are welcome anytime. I can't wait for Chase Sullivan. CJ, I definitely would like to get in touch with your champion for now and like to bring him on in the next few weeks. Aaron Blaze is going to be here later in the month to go in the Hall of Fame. So Dalton Skulls is here June 8th. So we're getting some UWA coverage. So we're working everybody in. So I'm excited about that. And just thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for being a part of All Wrestling Matters. Thank you for everything you've done. And I definitely will see you soon. And congratulations. And I can't wait for Saturday's show.
I can't wait either. I can't wait.
Why we're going to talk about it more. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was Jake Howell, the headshot. Jake Howell is going to be in action coming up for Final Destination 3, brought to you by Underground Wrestling Alliance. He'll be in the ring against Aaron Blaze. Aaron Blaze, everybody talks about. Also, Xavier Thorne would like to say, see you Monday. In the words of John Wick in those movies, be seeing you real soon. And I'll be here with Xavier Thorne Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So end your Memorial Day weekend with Xavier Thorne. Start it with the UWA. So the irony, right? We're starting with you and ending with Xavier Thorne. But obviously, we're looking forward to all that stuff. Also, CJ, Sammy Slade, and Dalton Skull main event.
You'll love some. I get a kick out of them every time I get to see them. So.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to all of it. And also, CJ, yes, I will definitely message you, if not later, certainly by tomorrow morning for sure. So we're going to definitely be in touch.
Yeah, you definitely want him.
Oh, I know I definitely want him.
He's a funny motherfucker. I love him.
He said he wants to be here, so I want him here. So I will message him when we're off the air. So great stuff. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. This man's going to be here this coming today, actually now, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Nicholas Crenson of the IMF and WCE. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of All Wrestling, where All Wrestling Matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, you're going back to your regular scheduled programming. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And go follow the UWA, Underground Wrestling Alliance. I'll see everybody.